Mario Kart World just came out, and man does it look pretty. The Switch 2 graphics really help make this grand world look as beautiful as it can, and to accompany this new world, the character models are a lot better too. I mean, just look at the comparison. It's like they actually have a soul now. Not only are there a whole bunch of redesigned classic characters, there's also a whole bunch of new characters that nobody could have ever predicted would be playable in this game. Like, you can't tell me Swoop was on your wish list for Mario Kart 9. He just wasn't. Don't worry though, if you hate fun and don't like these new additions, then there's plenty of costumes they added for the veteran characters to wear, and some of these are really cool, while others fall flat. So I thought, instead of actually talking about the tracks or the game itself, today we're gonna be ranking every character slash costume in Mario Kart World, all 153 of them. At first I thought maybe I should just rank the costumes, since it would be weird to rank Parabiddy against Baby Luigi Pro Racer, but if Nintendo's gonna make their roster UI a jumbled mess of costumes and characters, then I can make this video exactly that. I'll be ranking these based on how much I like them and their designs, and if I'd realistically pick them in the select screen. Basically, I just compared each character against each other and decided which one I'd rather pick. With all that said and explained, let's start off with our first tier, being F tier. Now listen, quite a lot of the costumes in this game are pretty great. There's so many unique and interesting outfits they decide to put these characters in, and of course, the core cast of characters themselves are always going to be great. Their designs are iconic for a reason, which is why F tier doesn't have that many entries in it. These are the costumes that I think are just not good, and I would never willingly pick any of these if I could help it. Now you're probably thinking, what do I think is the worst costume in the game? 153 Koopa Troopa Pro Racer. Okay, I'm probably exaggerating a bit here. Even the lowest costume isn't that terrible. The problem is, there's hardly a costume here. You'll see soon enough that Koopa probably has the worst alts in the game. They just feel so undercooked and lazy compared to all the other crazy designs every other main character got. And this one's just a yellow helmet you can hardly notice, a few ugly looking stickers on his shell, and a small vest, I guess. This just seems lazy to me. Again, it's not like I'm disgusted looking at it necessarily, but like, couldn't you have done a bit more here? Why not change his shell color to red here, or on any of his alts for that matter? Just something to make this stand out. I'd much rather play as normal Koopa than this ugly looking costume. He has one new trick animation where he gives a thumbs up, kinda cool, I guess. Still doesn't make me want to play as him though. Listen, I could over exaggerate and go on a YouTuber rant about how this alt is an affront to humanity, but it honestly doesn't deserve that, cause there's hardly anything to talk about here besides how boring and lackluster it is. I'm sorry y'all, let's just move on from this. 152 Birdo Pro Racer. Alright, now this one somehow feels even more sad, cause I like Birdo more as a character, and guess what? This is just one of two alternate costumes she has! The other one is really cute too. I feel like she was ripe to have such fun and unique costumes considering the type of character she is. I mean, if anyone should know about fashion, it should be her, right? Just look at that bow. But instead, we get another lackluster Pro Racer alt that hardly changes anything about her design, and I'd argue makes it way worse. The vest and shoes are kinda cute, I guess, but I do not like this checkerboard bow pattern at all. It feels like one of those Smash recolors where they could hardly change the design of the character, so they have to subtly alter them, usually making the design worse. And since this is the most prominent thing you're gonna see when racing, it just looks terrible here. Again, why not change her color or something? I mean, you literally did that in the last game when you add her as DLC, and Yoshi does that for all his alts too. Or better yet, just give my girl more costumes. If she had a lot more to offer than just this, maybe I wouldn't hate on it quite as much, but since this is what you're most likely to get after eating some food with her, that just makes me dislike it even more. 151 Koopa Troopa All-Terrain. Yeah, this dude has two entries in F tier, and this is the last one. The headphones here are kinda cool, the green hat and shades, sure, they kinda clash, but whatever. But this thing around his shell is actually ugly. Like, what is this even supposed to be? For the few all-terrain alts, they give the characters some racing gear to help them with the harsh terrain, I guess. But like, how is this stringy piece of metal supposed to protect you? It looks like you just put a bad Spider-Man logo on your shell. This does not look good at all. Again, it would have been cool if they changed the color of his shell, since Koopas are known to do that sometimes, but even that probably wouldn't have saved this ugly looking alt. You really did deserve better, Koopa. And that was the end of F tier already. Yeah, only 3 entries here. It's crazy to think of the 153 characters and costumes in this game, 150 of them aren't completely terrible. You know, I do kinda hate when rankings start off very negatively, even though they fundamentally have to because it's like a ranking. But trust me, there's a lot of gold in this game we've yet to get to. I'm telling you, the upper tiers are stacked with characters. But we've got a bit until we get there, because now we're on to D tier. That's right, we're skipping past E tier, and that's definitely not because I forgot that was a thing when I was making this tier list, but frankly, who even cares about E tier anyways? We're on to D tier, and there's not many entries here either, but still, these alts aren't exactly great. 150, Bowser All-Terrain. 2 All-Terrain alts in a row, isn't that something? These have a bad case of what a few costumes in this game do, which is over-designing the characters with clashing colors and random nonsense. Now this one does keep a pretty consistent color scheme at least, but like, I just don't like this gear. Bowser himself has a few alts you could say are over-designed, but they keep a pretty consistent theme throughout each of them. And again, what is this even supposed to be? I don't like how weirdly glossy his shell looks, and this looks very similar to his Pro Racer all he already has, which is actually not bad. The only thing saving this from F tier is that it's Bowser. His design is great in this game, and just in general, but this is just an ugly looking fit for him. 149, Yoshi Matsuri. Again, another case of being over-designed and clashing in all the wrong ways. I already wasn't that big a fan of Yellow Yoshi in general, and I'm sure this costume makes sense for the culture it's from, but here it just kinda feels like random nonsense. At first I was gonna hate on the small bandana, I don't know what it's called on top, but it does look kinda cute, and the one trick animation he does with a question block on a stick is pretty peak, and also it is Yoshi, one of my favorite Mario characters by the way. I know I'm basic, but again, I would never willingly pick this one personally, especially when Yoshi himself has tons of way better costumes we'll get to soon enough. 148, Koopa Troopa Work Crew. Hey look, our old pal is back again already! This is another under-designed costume that also feels over-designed at the same time. Like, why is there this random green tape across his shell? I get that it fits the construction theme, but that doesn't mean it looks good. I do like his red safety stick, and the trick animation where he waves it around is fun, but again, there's hardly anything here. He's got on another yellowish helmet that kinda blends in with his head, and that's about it. But hey, at least he has on different colored shoes this time. And that's the end of D tier. Only 3 entries here again. I just felt like these were definitely better than the ones in F tier, but still not great in the grand scheme of playable characters in this game. I don't really think I'd pick these either, but if you would, that's fine. It's time to finally head out of the bottom of the barrel with C tier. This tier definitely has its fair share of entries in it, but these characters aren't all that bad, just mid compared to everything else in this roster. And when I say mid, I mean the actual definition, okay? Not bad or anything. 147, Luigi Touring. Starting at the bottom of the mid, I don't know if this will be controversial, but Luigi's here already! The touring outfits are usually pretty damn good in this game, but this one just kinda misses the mark for me. I don't like how much it looks like he's wearing aluminum foil all over him. We've got the standard Luigi green and dark blue, which is good, and the fiery mushroom logo on the back is pretty cool, but the whole ensemble just kind of feels wrong. I'm not a fan of the gray used here. With how puffy this outfit looks, this doesn't even feel like touring either. Most other alts in this style seem fit for all sorts of climates, even if they mostly wear jackets. This just looks like he's about to go skiing. Again, we're in C tier now, which means it's not bad per se, but I don't really find myself picking aluminum foil Luigi anytime soon. 146, Bowser Jr. Pro Racer. This one also feels like a bit of an over-designed mess, but he does look kinda cute in it. Him having a huge scarf now instead of a mask is kinda neat, and the helmet is fine, but that's about it. Man, these Pro Racer alts can really be hit or miss. There's a lot of these that are filling up the lower tiers, but also plenty of them filling up the highest tiers. I guess that's what happens when you make 20 of them. 145, Koopa Troopa, our first normal character, and guess who it is? Okay, this video is gonna make me seem like a Koopa hater, and I'm really not. My main reasoning here is, why would you pick this guy when there's a sea of more interesting Mario enemies in this game? I get that he's an OG starting from the very beginning, and I'd say he was a fun choice in that game, but here, he just seems a bit too basic. He kinda does have swag here though, like his animation when you pick him is awesome, and he really does spin around in his shell a lot when you're doing tricks, but that's kinda about it. Also, I just feel like his design in this game is weird. I don't know what it is about his eyes, but they kinda feel stretched out, and I don't really like it. Again, again, he is a veteran character and he gets some points for that. And if you're a Koopa fan, that's great. I appreciate any fan of the Mario enemies here, but I'm not rushing to pick this stock standard guy. Maybe if he had a red shell and some wings, I'd consider it though. Right, Nintendo? It would be the literal easiest character to make. Am I wrong, Nintendo? 144, Luigi Farmer. This one's a case of neat concept, but really similar to how he already looks. Yeah, farmers do wear overalls most of the time, but that's why it would have been better to make characters who don't wear overalls into farmers. Like Peach in this outfit is so much better. The straw hat is great, of course, love how big that is, and the turnip patch on his right booty cheek is a cute detail, but still, I feel like I'd rather play as normal Luigi. This isn't a bad idea, I just feel like it could have been better executed. 143, Baby Peach. I bet you were wondering when these guys were gonna show up. Listen, I'm not a massive baby hater like most people seemingly are. I mean, I don't really pick them, but I can understand someone who would. They are cute, but a lot of them do look very samey, especially the princesses. Since they all use the same body type, it's more difficult to easily distinguish between them unlike their grown-up counterparts, besides the colors of course. And for me, the least interesting one is Baby Peach. Yeah, I know she did debut in Partners in Time, which is pretty cool, but besides that, I'd rather pick the other princesses if I really had to. 142, Baby Rosalina. This one's actually pretty controversial for most Mario fans, debuting in Mario Kart 8 as another filler character in a game that was basically just filler characters, and kinda retconning the events of Mario Galaxy where we saw her story as a child, cause like, was she just racing with the crew as a baby before that? But yeah, her sole purpose is kinda just to be a filler character. Luckily in this game, there's plenty of other options to make her inclusion more justified, even if some of you would argue those are filler too, but you're lame if you do! 141, Baby Daisy. This is another character that originated in Mario Kart, this time Mario Kart Wii, and because of that, she reminds me of it, and anything that reminds me of that game is a good thing. I guess I also like her color palette a bit more here than on the other princesses, but that's about it. Again, these guys aren't really that far apart in terms of placement, she just seems a bit more charming. Also, she doesn't have the weird long pupils that the other baby princesses have. I don't know why they have it and she doesn't, but good! 140, Koopa Troopa Sailor. Maybe you were expecting to see babies too here already, but nah, we've got our boy Koopa back yet again. This one is, again, really not that different from his normal look, especially when you're driving, but come on, the sailor look here is charming. There are subtle changes here like the added gloves and the boots changing colors, but not much besides that. It's just a cute look. This really does make me wonder why we couldn't get alts for other enemy characters besides the veterans. Like if Koopa can get so many alts, then why not somebody like Goomba? Literally just give him this pirate hat from Goomba's Booty Boardwalk in Mario Party 8, and that would have been an awesome reference, and also pair well with the Sailor Koopa alt, but whatever Nintendo. $5,000 game by the way. 139, Yoshi Pro Racer. Again, red Yoshi has never been one of my preferred Yoshi colors, but this one also just feels a bit weird. Like he's wearing this tight bodysuit that's the exact same color as him. You wouldn't even notice it at first glance, and it makes me a little uncomfortable. I do like the blue gloves and blue shoes, but I don't really like this helmet with a red visor when he's already red. Feels like a little bit too much red on red action is going on here. 138, Baby Mario. There's the babies too. I like these more than the princesses cause they're the OGs, coming straight from the first Yoshi's Island game, and I just think these baby designs are more charming anyways. You just gotta love how big these guys' hats are for their heads. I guess they found the right ones right away and never needed new ones. Baby Mario himself is iconic cause he's the guy you hate to see crying in Yoshi's Island, but I do feel like the next one is more unique. 137, Baby Luigi. Yeah, this dude is pretty easily the best baby. He's not as stock standard as Baby Mario, and his design is also just better. He doesn't have these insanely long eyebrows that I think look a little creepy on Baby Mario. His voice is also a lot goofier too, exactly how you'd expect a baby version of a cowardly Italian man to sound like. Also, just check out this sick pose he does when you select him. Damn, maybe I should have put him higher. 136, Baby Rosalina Explorer. And here's her first baby ult. Okay, I promise that I'm not gonna put all of their ults at the bottom. There are some that are legit pretty good and get a reasonably high placement, which I wasn't expecting, but I guess that's what happens when you give them more ults than Donkey Kong. All of the baby princesses have the exact same set of ults: Touring, Pro Racer, Sailor, and Explorer. And I don't really care for the Explorer ults that much. This one in particular gives it this bluish color, which again reminds me of a Smash color swap ult where they can only slightly change the palette, and I don't really like it it that much because of that, but it's still cute, even if that's a given. 135, Daisy Vacation. An adult princess got in the lower tiers. Ouch. Yeah, this outfit is just kind of bland to me. Not a big fan of this giant white hat that I don't know the name of. Kind of looks like a beret, but I'm not 100% certain. Not a big fan of the striped skirt either. This looks like an outfit that would definitely be cute in real life, but in this fantastical video game setting, it doesn't really do much for me. 134, Baby Peach Explorer. I like the pink coloration more here, and that's enough for me to rank it higher. Also, Baby Peach wearing this just makes more sense. Reminds me of the Explorer outfit Peach wore in Mario Odyssey, which I'm pretty sure isn't all in Mario Kart Tours, so why isn't it in this game? Beats me, especially when all these babies have one. And that's all for C tier. These are definitely the lesser Mario Kart picks. I mean, this was mostly filled with babies, but I actually wouldn't mind picking some of these occasionally. From this list, I could see the Luigi costume placements being a bit controversial since it is Luigi, but I feel like they just could have done better than those two. Let's drive away from the mid with B. I think this tier is where things get interesting. There's a good number of entries here, and these characters are good in my eyes, but not quite enough to get to the coveted A tier where a lot of entries are. You might see some of your favorites here, or not. I don't know you. 133, Mario Dune Rider. I'll be honest, I don't even know what this is supposed to be. I mean, I know it says Dune Rider, but like, is that a profession or something? I feel like this costume looks too similar to his aviator and his cowboy alts, and I like those way more. It's not a bad look, of course. I do like this jacket with the mushroom patch on it, but it just kind of feels uninspired and doesn't really stand out in terms of costumes in this game, which is why it gets in the bottom spot of B tier. 132, Toad Pro Racer. Okay, I'll admit, this one does look pretty cool, but also, does his head actually fit in there? As we all know, Toad's head is actually his head. No bald Toad from the Super Show will convince me otherwise, so this costume makes me a bit uncomfortable because I feel like his head is getting squished like crazy in there. It is kind of a sick design for a helmet, don't get me wrong, but it just makes me concerned for his well-being. 131, Toadette Pro Racer. Same situation, but with Toadette! And I love Toadette. This time we can see her pigtails coming out of the helmet, so she should be fine, but still, it's a real tight squeeze either way. This must have been a headache to put on. Good to see that she's advertising her own goddamn company on her helmet. I guess those capitalistic tendencies never left after Mario Maker, huh? 130, Baby Daisy Explorer. I like this one Explorer all the best because it's actually colored like how this type of outfit would be instead of a weird, slightly different palette. I also like the flower design on top, and out of all the princesses, it feels like Daisy would be the most likely to be an explorer, even if Peach did it before her, but let's ignore that part. 129, Mario All-Terrain. These all-terrain alts look as cool as they are funny. Like, you do not need to go this hard for some simple kart racing, you guys. But again, the protective gear here does look kinda sick. The Superstar sponsor is really cool, and the red, white, and blue color palette reminds me of the golf outfit that Mario's wore plenty of times, and nothing else. 128, Luigi All-Terrain. Not only do I like the green here more, but it's even funnier to see Luigi with a costume like this. Like, seriously, this goofy ass guy is getting this serious about racing? Though, to be fair, if anyone would want to wear a bunch of protective gear to make sure they don't get hurt while go-kart racing, it would probably be him. 127, Bowser Pro Racer. This one kinda feels like an over-designed mess yet again, but I actually like it this time. We got the classic Bowser color palette here. Green, yellow, white, red. Nothing really clashes here, I think. Plus, I just like seeing Bowser wear some clothes for once. I don't even know how he gets these outfits on over his shell. I really hope it's not detachable because I don't want to think about how that would look like. The striped line across his shell and the bright red added around his spikes makes this a fun look to see while driving, in my opinion. 126, Baby Mario Work Crew. This one's just kind of fun. I like the big shiny helmet, the messy mud everywhere, and their toy hammer that they definitely do not do work with. I mean, if they did, that would be kinda odd. What even are the child labor laws like in the Mushroom Kingdom? Should I actually be concerned about these alts? 125, Baby Luigi Work Crew. I like the green a lot better here, and Baby Luigi's design in general. He also has a wrench instead of a hammer, and in one of his trick animations, he hits himself on the helmet with it. You can't tell me that's not charming. Still concerned about the policies of this video game world, but I'm sure it's fine. 124, Yoshi Yoshi Touring. Again, white isn't one of my preferred Yoshi colors, especially since it kind of blends in with his accents, which are already white, but it kind of looks cool here. I enjoyed the unique white, orange, and blue color palette here. The scarf is top notch, and I like those goggles around his neck. They actually gave one of the worst Yoshi colors a pretty spiffy alt, which I wasn't expecting. Now, why they don't bring back Black Yoshi and give him a cool alt is a bit odd, Nintendo, but sure. 123, Koopa Troopa Runner. Okay, you might be thinking, unfunny, what the hell are you doing? This looks like another simple Koopa alt. And while it is, come on, look at him. He has shades on. He's got sick looking sneakers, a cool looking cap. This is basically like an upgraded version of those Koopa freerunning alts we got in Tour. Now, I do wish the cap was backwards, but you can't win them all. I was also gonna place this one a little lower down, but after seeing this insane trick animation where he runs in a circle in midair, I knew I had to place this one higher. This is the peak of Koopa alts right here, which isn't saying much, but still. 122, Luigi Gondolier. Now, I don't know what a gondolier is, but I do know what Google is, and apparently this is some guy who rows a boat with a long oar. I mean, I probably could have told you that by just looking at him. Makes sense for an Italian to get an Italian all, and while I'm not a big fan of the stripes here, I do enjoy the green accents around this relatively dull color scheme. 121, Luigi Oasis. 2 Luigi alts in a row, and 2 based on different cultures. I mean, he just looks absolutely goofy in this fit with the ridiculously small hat and the baggy pants, and of course, the whole not having a shirt thing. This trick animation where he sits peacefully in the air is pretty cool, I gotta say. Always gotta appreciate the alts with unique taunts, of course. It's something Tour had, so thank God it's here too. Although I'm getting word that apparently this alt is kinda insensitive to the culture it's based on, so 120, Toad. That's right, just Toad. I mean, how could you not like this guy? He didn't really get a major redesign in this game. His face is just a little chubbier and that's it, which I say is an improvement. It kind of feels like he's a little more insane in this game. Like his animation after winning is just him going absolutely wild with his movements, and his new voice direction makes him even louder than usual. I don't know who's voicing him since they fired Samantha Kelly one day before the game came out, who also voiced Toad, but I'd say they're doing a good job making him more chaotic than ever, which I think is pretty funny. 119, Peach Yukata, Mario Kart Tour reference, which in reality is a Mario Odyssey reference. See, this isn't a bad costume. I really like the giant boom mask, and the fire flower pattern on the Yukata itself is excellent. This outfit's way better than Peach Kimono. Thing is, I do want there to be at least a little pink in my Peach alts. I mean, that's her whole thing, right? So having this one without a trace of pink in it is a little odd. That doesn't stop this from being a fun outfit though, and for some reason it reminds me of this image. Don't ask why. 118, Baby Peach Sailor. Oh look, there's my pink. These baby sailor alts are absolutely adorable, and I love the bright colors on this one. There's not really much more to say than that. Again, I'm really not sure why they decided to give all these babies a consistent amount of alts, but if they're this cute, I guess it's fine. 117, Baby Rosalina Sailor. I find it interesting how this alt specifically goes for a different style than the other 2 Sailor alts, going for an inverted pattern and a completely different hat. I like them changing things up for Baby Rosa, and the navy blue does look nice, but I feel like I kinda would have preferred them keeping the colors uninverted, basically white and blue instead of blue and white. She does have that Donald Duck look about her though, so maybe it is better this way. 116, Luigi. That's right, Luigi! He didn't really get a drastic redesign here either, although I do think his face was modeled to look a little closer to his N64 model, which is actually what happened to a lot of characters here. But you just gotta love the man in green. He might be a standard playable character, but he's still so charming even to this day. Also, I think Kevin Afghani does an incredible job voicing him. Out of all the plumbers, he definitely sounds the best as Luigi. I love his voice here. 115, Mario. Okay, now you're probably wondering, unfunny, you've always rated Luigi and his baby versions alts above Mario's. What the hell's going on here? And to that I say, I just like him more. You know how everyone's always talking about how they prefer Luigi over Mario because, oh, he's too basic. I'm gonna be quirky and like Luigi more, without realizing that literally everyone on Earth thinks the same thing. So at this point, I feel like it's more basic to like Luigi over Mario. This guy is the main character. The game is called Mario Kart, and sure, you play as him in almost every single other Mario game, sometimes as the only option, but I don't complain because I like the guy. His design is iconic, and in this game he's got a pretty notable redesign that makes his cheeks chubbier than ever. I feel like they almost went a little too far here, and now he looks like he's holding his breath forever, but it's still very charming. Sometimes picking the stock standard character can be the least stock standard thing you could do, and in this case, you've got a lovable mascot that you've been playing as for years, so why not here too? Also, just to mention it again, Kevin Afghani actually sounds perfect as this dude. Like, forget about the bad line take from the beginning of the game, because every other line sounds exactly like how Mario should sound. I feel like he's legit getting better over time, and we'll see that with some other characters later on. 114, Bowser Jr. Anyways, after that long preamble, Jr.'s still better. This guy's always a fun choice in any spin-off, and in this game they really made a notable change by redesigning his muzzle so that it's way bigger, making him even more adorable. Insert Sonic joke here. I love how they went out of their way to redesign the whole crew here. It makes it worthwhile to pick these veteran characters because they've got some brand new looks that are all instantly better than how they've looked before. Except Koopa. 113, Toad Explorer. Toad Explorer? Are you sure that's what this is? It might as well be, because this sure as hell ain't Captain Toad. This is another one of those bad Smash color all situations where they make the Captain Toad outfit light blue now for no reason, and it makes me a little uncomfortable. He's also wearing a hat with a light on it now instead of just a headlamp. Why couldn't they just do a direct Captain Toad reference here? You literally had him in tour. Why don't you just port over the goddamn costume from that game? Despite Nintendo's baffling decisions, I still like how the outfit looks in general. The backpack looks pretty much the same as we'd expect, and this is a cute look for him. But if we had the real Captain Toad in here, this would have been an easy S or maybe even S+ tier costume, but instead we have this Skinwalker version that just makes me long for the real thing. Whatever, man. 112, Bowser Jr. Explorer. Okay, I didn't realize how much of this video was just gonna be me talking about how goddamn adorable some of these guys are, but come on! Look at this little Boy Scout! Look at how many badges he has proudly displayed on his shell. Now, I don't know how many of those he got legitimately, but let's ignore that part. See, these are the types of unique costumes I like to see. Outfits that you wouldn't see these characters normally wear, but fit perfectly when they do. It would have been good enough already with just the Explorer outfit, but having all these badges on his shell really makes this one stand out. Not bad, Junior. 111, Peach Pro Racer. This is a pretty unique category of costumes for the princesses. Instead of just giving them a helmet like nearly every other Pro Racer all, they give them these crazy outfits instead. And while I think the others pull it off pretty well, sadly Peach pulls it off the least well. Still not bad, by the way, but something about the way the other princesses look with it really suits them. This just kinda doesn't seem like something she would wear. I get how that'd be a positive for some people, and I do like the pink accents here, but I feel like it also kinda clashes with the black that's also prominent here. Still a stylish outfit, no doubt. I do love the hat with the crown visor on it, but we'll get better versions of this style soon enough. 110, Baby Daisy Sailor. Nope, I didn't forget about her. She's just all the way up here. Not only is this my favorite color scheme for this outfit, not only is this my favorite character out of the trio, but it also reminds me of the cute-ass Sailor Daisy outfit from Tour, which isn't in this game. I really don't understand why they didn't port more costumes from that game when it would have been easier than making all these new ones, especially when there are plenty of vaults from Tour here already, but at least we have the baby version to remember that costume by, so whatever, I'll take it. And that's all for Beats here. Again, these costumes aren't too shabby at all, and there are some iconic faces from the series here, but we're only scratching the surface of how good these characters can look. I think towards the end of this tier, things are finally starting to ramp up in terms of quality, and now we're fully leveling up with a Alright, I'm just gonna say it. This tier is massive. This has the most entries of any tier in this video. Just goes to show you how much quality is in this damn game. I'd say these characters and costumes are great, but not really great. Wow, what an insult, right? Just great. There's plenty of fan favorite characters here, and some cool costumes too. But what's the least great one here? 109, Donkey Kong All-Terrain. Alright, listen. I don't know how controversial this is. I feel like I've seen a few people not be a big fan of this one, but I think it looks kinda sick on him. The red and yellow color palette here makes perfect sense considering his logo. I mean, they made the middle part of this gear look just like his tie. That's peak design right there. I love the sponsors on here too, like DK Racing, Donkey Kong Racing reference, and Banana, Donkey Kong Bonanza reference. I also love the detail of these arm pads looking like barrels. See, this costume may look simple at first glance, but there's actually a lot here that makes this one awesome, and there should be, considering considering it's his only alt. Still though, for being his only alt, it's a pretty damn good one, thank God. 108, Bowser Jr. Biker Jr. Yep, they really called it that. Just another insanely cute alt for Jr. You can tell this dude is an absolute rebel, as if that already wasn't obvious. I mean, this one is pretty simple, giving him a jacket, goggles, and a whole bunch of black around his shell, but it all works pretty well, and just the fact they call this one Biker Jr. gives it more points alone. 107, Wario Pro Racer. When the lowest appearance of a character is A tier, you know they've got good outfits. This is different from every other Pro Racer alt, because they usually utilize white in them in some way, big or small, but here it's just yellow and purple the whole way through. The whitest thing here are his teeth. I mean, I feel like a little white would have worked well here. Right now it kind of looks like a piss-colored jumpsuit, but that's also precisely why it's good. 106, Waluigi Pro Racer. When the lowest appearance of a character is A tier, you know they've got good outfits. I mean, this dude has his own vintage clothes shop. If anyone knows about fashion, it's gotta be him. This one actually does have white on it, and quite a lot of it, but still a good amount of purple too, of course. Just look at this Waluigi L logo he's got plastered on the back here. Now this looks sleek. I like the helmet and goggles here too, and it looks like he's wearing a goddamn turtleneck underneath the jacket. I never thought I'd see this dude in one of those, but I'm glad I did. 105, Mario Touring. Alright, now this is a good touring alt, Luigi. This is a pretty jazzy look for our main man. I love how his hair is fully exposed here. This red jacket is real spiffy and doesn't look like aluminum foil, and this blue shell design on the back is fire as hell. If there were a Mario biker alt, it would probably look like this. This does not look like a guy you should mess with. Kinda. On a side note, I'm glad Nintendo isn't afraid to make this guy lose his hat often. I feel like most times companies are afraid to make their mascots look too different than what their iconic design is. But ever since Odyssey, he's had plenty of games with his hat out, like the sports titles and whatnot, and I know it's happened a few times before then, but still. 104, Daisy. And here we are, the imminent princess ranking has arrived, and yeah, she's the lowest. But let's not make this a bad thing. They all got this high up and are all pretty close together in my eyes in how much I like them. I mean, they gotta be. They look so similar. But that doesn't mean I don't have my favorites, and this may have been a tough call, but Daisy's probably the last option I'd pick, in terms of their regular outfits, that is. Her color palette is just a bit one note here, and I prefer the other colors more in this instance. Now yes, I do like her personality a lot. I'm not a Daisy hater who finds her annoying or anything, but I'm also not like this guy. Maybe. 103, Rosalina. When the lowest appearance of a character is A tier, you know they've got some of the best alts in the game. But in terms of her regular appearance, it's pretty good too. You just gotta love that cool color palette. Take a shot every time I say color palette in this video. That emo hairstyle with only one eye exposed, and her ability to just float literally all the time. She's got such a majestic personality that you can see in her trick animations. And also, she's a Galaxy reference, so that immediately means she's great. In this game though, I don't know what's going on with her voice direction. Like when you pick her on the select screen, she sounds normal enough, but her voice lines when she wins a race sounds eerily similar to Peach, and I do not like it at all. She should sound like her own character, goddammit. I'm not sure what's up with Nintendo's voice direction lately. Like they've recasted nearly the whole crew, and some of them sound as great as ever, while sometimes they sound worse than before. I really hope this direction doesn't continue for her, but whatever. She's still a great character. 102, Peach. Wow, and funny, your favorite brother is Mario, and now your favorite princess is Peach? Next you're gonna tell us your favorite water is red! Listen, I've had this opinion from the beginning that she was the best of the bunch, and it's definitely not due to any childhood crush related issues. I just like her color palette. Take that shot! First of all, I feel like her facial model got improved the most out of nearly anyone in the game. She looks exactly like the 2D art of her now, and it's amazing to see. That bright yellow hair and equally bright pink dress looks smoother than ever. That switch to HDR is really working wonders on her, and the entire crew for that matter. One not good thing though, I don't like her voice direction either. As I said before, Samantha Kelly got laid off recently, and she was the voice of Toad, Toadette, and Peach for like 20 plus years or something. And I don't know who this new person is, but she really sounds off sometimes. Once again, mostly in her winning voice lines. Listen, I can respect a new voice actress and even a new take on the character, but this just sounds like a poor imitation of what she already sounded like, and I'm not a big fan. But all that pointless stuff aside to say, yeah, I'd pick her, among other things. 101, Shy Guy. Now, if we're talking classics, this guy's a classic. Shy Guy can go through countless eras of Nintendo, even one where nearly everyone's gotten a redesign, and he'll still have no design changes done to him since Yoshi's Story, and this is because he's without flaw. This guy's always been a go, and I always remember thinking his belt was a mouth with a single tooth when I was younger. Don't ask why. You just gotta love his goofy ass movements and how he swims through the air like a fish. They just make this guy weird as hell, which is so charming. But you know what would really make this character better? If I could choose which goddamn color I wanted to play like in the last game. $10,000 game, by the way! But I guess they thought to do that, they need to make a new costume for each of them, so they just didn't. Okay. Normally I would put this guy way higher, but in a game filled with characters with new designs and cool costumes we've never seen before, I don't see myself picking regular Shy Guy too often, especially when he's got some cool ults of his own, so think of this as a respectable 101st place. 100, Yoshi Swimwear. This is kind of a weird one for 100, but yeah, this costume's just silly. Orange is one of my favorite colors already, so this immediately gets points, but this swimming gear is so cute. I love this snorkel he has that's shaped exactly like his eyes. I love these flippers, the stripes here do make sense, and while adding this lifesaver around his shell might be doing a bit too much, it still looks cute here. And you gotta love that animation of him swimming in the air. More trick animations, please. 99, Baby Daisy Pro Racer. Now I don't know how agreeable this is, but I actually do enjoy these Pro Racer baby alts. We've got 3 of them in a row here, and I actually really like these big helmets these tiny characters have to wear, and there's a cool detail with them I'll share later on. For the lowest one though, we have Baby Daisy, which is odd considering she's usually the best of the trio, but I feel like a little orange is better than too much orange, and I know I just said orange is one of my favorite colors, but it's different here. I just like the blue and pink helmets more in this context. Speaking of, 98, Baby Peach Pro Racer. See, this color palette just works better. That's something else I forgot to mention. The trimmings around the helmet are gold, so I like how it contrasts here with the pink more than with the orange where it kinda blends in. Also, there's a white stripe down the middle this time instead of this weird yellowish line. Wow, I actually do have a good reason for putting this higher. And I like the crown and heart designs more than the flower and flower designs, so there you go. 97, Baby Rosalina Pro Racer. But of course, Baby Rosalina has to be different. She's got silver trimmings instead of gold. Ooh. Yeah, I think that looks better here. Plus, blue is my favorite color anyway, so of course I gotta give the edge to what I like. I also like the star and star designs here, including this one right here, and this is where the neat detail comes in. Each of the babies here have a different symbol on their helmets. Rosa has a star, of course, but Peach has a mushroom, and Daisy has a flower. Those are like the 3 main Mario power-ups or something. It makes total sense too. Peach is the ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom, Daisy is literally named after a flower, and Rosa is all about space. I didn't even realize how the 3 princesses corresponded perfectly to the 3 main power-ups before, and I'm kinda disappointed in myself. That realization alone makes these alts top tier, but also, I just think they look cool. 96, Shy Guy Slope Styler. It's really cool they gave Shy Guy an alt that resembles the snowboarders that have been around on DK Summit, or in this game for some reason, DK Pass. Giving Shy Guy a beanie is peak character design given the top of his mask already protrudes outwards like a beanie, and I love these yellow goggles that have Shy Guy boldly written on them. Also, this might be one of the best trick animations in the game, where he takes out a snowboard from I don't know where and does a sick trick on it. This was an absolute necessity here, and I love that they did it. One thing I wish they did though was actually recolor this guy blue like how the snowboarders look on DK Pass. Anything to make him a bit more unique from the regular Shy Guy would be great, of course, especially considering they're in the game fully modeled, but whatever. 95, Wario. How could you not love this guy and his never closed mouth? Even in his regular overalls, I think he's an awesome pick. He didn't even get a redesign in this game, really. I mean, if he did, it was just a few small tweaks to bring him up to the same quality everyone else is at. I guess he does look kinda cuter in this game, which is weird to say about a guy that looks like this, I know. Oh wait, I know one thing that's been enhanced here. I mean, Wario's always had plenty of ass, of course, but I feel like they really made it pronounced in this game. I mean, just look at this. Princesses be damned. I feel like Kevin Afghani's Wario voice is legit getting good now. Is that just me? Like in WarioWare Move It sounded pretty noticeably off, which many didn't like, but here, I don't even notice it at all. I think he sounds the best here.
Wario time!
Maybe it's also the fact that it's a silly kart racing game that makes a slightly less gruff voice fit better, but I just think he's actually improving, which is kinda crazy to think. 94, Luigi Mechanic. Alright, now this is a sleek fit. This costume is, of course, a reference to the artwork for the Famicom game 3D Hot Rally, as you probably know already. I mean, even on his hat it says Famicom, so you gotta know it. But it works as well as an actual costume as it does a reference. Always gotta love those backwards caps, of course, and the white and blue color palette mixed with the green here looks pretty damn nice. Although even with these Switch 2 graphics, we can't really decipher what these sponsors say. I guess we'll need the Switch 3 for that. 93, Mario Mechanic. But alas, I think this outfit actually works better on Mario. First of all, it's an Odyssey reference now, and I also like the white, blue, and red ensemble here. It reminds me of the all-terrain Mario costume and nothing more. I think the backwards cap works better on Mario than Luigi too. He seems like the kind of guy who would actually style it like this, whereas Luigi, I don't really see it. 92, Daisy Oasis. Alright, come on, no matter what you think Nintendo thinks about your culture, you gotta agree that this fits perfectly on her. She's a princess from a desert kingdom after all. I mean, just look at her palace in this game. This makes total sense. I like her baggy pants, the jewelry around her hair that gives her a new hairstyle, and that's it. Also, she gets a cool new trick animation, so that's extra points. 91, Baby Peach Touring. For the last set of baby princess alts, we've got some pretty fashionable ones with the touring set. These are basically baby versions of what the grown-ups wear for their touring alts, and while they're not exactly the same, they're pretty damn similar. This is a relatively simple outfit, being a jacket, scarf, and a giant bow, but again, I really like the color scheme here. The bright pink with the sky blue accents gives it a very pleasant energy, and of course, who doesn't love an oversized bow? 90, Waluigi. On the complete opposite side of the character spectrum, it's Waluigi. This guy is so goddamn charming, and I do not understand why people find that so hard to believe. I swear, there's so many people online who only think people like him because he's a meme, and I'm sure many Redditors who only want him in Smash do, but he's just a cool character with a fun personality, man. Look at his lobby animation with him bent down snapping his fingers. He looks like he's about to call his goons to beat the living daylights out of you. Look at how he can hardly fit in any vehicle because of his long ass legs. Like, what the hell even is this stance? It's so goddamn funny. One of his trick animations is just him spreading his legs out for no reason. Like, what? The only change they made to his design in this game is just making his pupil smaller. Pretty interesting choice to just change that, but I like how much more insane it makes him look. Again, this is excellent character design. I find Wario and Waluigi existing at all to be a hilarious concept. Like, yeah, we're used to it by now, but it's like, they just decided to create a bad Mario to be the final boss of their handheld game, and then realized, oh yeah, we should have a bad Luigi too, and we can't make his name Wooigi, so we just gotta put Wa in front of Luigi. Like, that's hilarious. There's just bizarro versions of the Mario Brothers playable in nearly every spin-off, and I think that's funny. Anyways, again, Kevin Afghani does a fantastic job voicing him here. He didn't even need improvement since he sounded pretty perfect for his first portrayal of the dude in Mario Party Jamboree. I feel like he does a slightly better job as the Luigi's than the Arios. 89, Wario Oasis. Alright, now this is just goofy. They got Wario wearing this bright gold Sultan outfit, and shockingly, it fits. I mean, yellow is kinda his style already, and he's got this big fancy looking W design placed on the back here. That's him to a T. Or I guess a W. I wonder what this ring is supposed to mean though. Like, is it just some fancy jewelry, or did this version of him get married? Much to ponder about here. Also love that trick animation where he twirls his mustache. Just very charming. 88, Shy Guy Pit Crew. Now this is just a cool guy. Again, I would have liked a new color utilized here, but for what it is, the red mixed with the white stripes looks pretty striking here. There's a cool looking Shy Guy logo on the back, and you gotta love the headphones with the mic out on some of these costumes, especially here. Although it does make me wonder why they'd hire a shy guy to commentate over a race, though to be fair, he seems pretty damn unshy whenever he's got this outfit on, which is always. 87, Pauline. When the lowest appearance of a character is A tier, yada yada. Like, come on, do I need to say more? She's only been playable in Mario Kart and I guess every other spin-off only recently, which makes her a way more interesting pick than the princesses, and she deserves it. She's been in the series from the very beginning, longer than most other characters here, and while she'd been seldom seen in the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, ever since her appearance in Odyssey has she really came back. She's in every sports game, Mario Party, and now Mario Kart, and she's even got a pretty prevalent role in Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's about time we got a new Mario girl, and I couldn't be more glad it's her. Now, does this placement mean she's my favorite princess? No, cause she's not a princess, she's a mayor, and for being a mayor, she's my favorite mayor in the series. I mean, her outfit is so unique compared to the same kind of dress all the princesses wear. This is a different kind of dress with a bold sparkly red color on it. it. You can tell this design was from the 90s. Her voice is the same as it ever was in this game, although I'm really glad she's not singing lyrics from Jump Up Superstar every time she tricks anymore. Thank God. Sometimes you gotta wonder how these normal ass women live in a world where nearly everyone else is just a creature. Like, that's gotta be a bit disorienting, right? 86, Toadette. Speaking of creatures, here's one I love. Toadette will always be one of my favorite Mario designs. All they did was invert Toad's colors, paint him pink, give him some pigtails, and boom, incredible character design. Oh yeah, and also give him a shirt too. The only change Toad got in this game was a chubbier face, so the same is applied to Toadette here. Good! I mean, she's just adorable, you gotta admit it. She's my main in Mario Maker 2, because of course she is, and like I said before, the fact that she's kind of a capitalistic pig is hilarious. She's got her own ice cream company in this game, which is fine and all, but she's also anti-union, loves making others do the work, and is apparently secret partners in crime with Wario, which makes this whole thing make total sense. I bet Wario met up with her somehow, befriended her, and just taught her how to be greedy. No wonder she was joining Toad in Treasure Tracker. She just wanted some goddamn treasure. That just makes me like her more though. I enjoy my cute characters with notable flaws. Again, I don't know who's voicing her here, but they made her sound more higher pitched than normal, which is kinda crazy. I did prefer the way she sounded before, but it's not that big of a deal. I just hope this new voice actress improves, and this isn't just the direction Nintendo wants for this voice. 85, Peach Aviator. Okay, now this is a unique fit. They made a Peach version of the aviator costume Mario got in Odyssey, which is surprisingly not a costume she wore in that game, despite her wearing so many in that game already. It fits her pretty damn well though. I like how it's colored pink and not brown like Mario's. I like the golden goggles on top, and of course I enjoy the ponytail. This gives off a very adventurous feeling, which makes sense, and I like it way more than the standard-ass Explorer outfit Peach had in Odyssey and Tour. This one actually looks like it was made to fit the character. She's even got this cape feather patch on her arm. Really cool detail. 84, Mario Aviator. But with a slight edge, Mario's original version of this costume is better. Again, being a costume from Odyssey gives it extra points, but this is just kind of a sick look for him. The puffiness of the jacket and helmet makes this look like something that would be really comfortable to wear. If you know me, you'll know I'm actually a fan of the color brown, and while this isn't my preferred shade of it, I think it works pretty well for the outfit it's meant to be. It's got kind of a crazy pattern on it, but hey, I like the goggles. Also, take a shot every time I mention goggles here. 83, Baby Daisy Touring. Cute baby alt number 20 or something. I do agree they might have given these guys a bit too many alts, especially considering how few some others got, but at least this specific set is great. Again, it's like a miniature version of Daisy's touring outfit. We've got the same sort of jacket with the logo on it like Baby Peach's, but the teal ribbon on top with the spherical hairdo is completely unique here. Very interesting choice to give her these little bobs of hair, but I honestly do like it. I'm glad they're not afraid to give these costumes a unique style from their adult counterparts. Makes the designs a whole lot more interesting. 82, Swoop. Our first random enemy edition in this game has finally arrived, and it's a good one too, although I feel like they took a weird angle with this one. Swoops have been in the series for a while now. They're these bat enemies that you usually find underground on some Mario Kart tracks, or trying to progress to the Glitz Pit sometimes. Wow, a reoccurring face in the series is playable now. This is terrible! I really do like their designs too. The bold blue colors with the purple wings and the face that looks nearly identical to the Moogles from Final Fantasy makes this one memorable to me. I'll always love how Mario enemies have these unique design philosophies that let you know they're from the Mario series. Simple designs with recognizable features and bold colors. In this game though, they kinda did something weird with them. They made them close their wings around themselves the entire time you're driving, unless you're tricking or throwing an item, which doesn't even make sense. I know there's many characters that drive without arms or anything, but why did Swoop have to be one? I feel like I'd enjoy this character way more if he actually had his wings around the handles instead of looking like this weird spherical mound. I guess they kinda wanted to change their personality into being more timid and shy. I mean, they even do the same thing in their lobby animation where they're hanging by the non-existent ceiling. See, this is charming right here, but playing as that the entire race kinda isn't. I would definitely put this guy up higher with all the other fun enemies this game added, but this design choice just isn't for me. I'm sorry. 81, Yoshi. That's right, regular Yoshi. As if I couldn't be more basic, Yoshi's been my main in any Mario spin-off game, and this even carried over to Smash too. I got pretty lucky having my main be a top tier, huh? He's just a cute looking dinosaur, and that's all he really had to be for younger me to love him. I'm sure many of you probably felt the same way. He looks better than ever in this game though. His green pops out really nicely here, and while he didn't get a Donkey Kong type drastic redesign, he definitely did get some features tweaked to look more like his 2D art. His nose isn't completely spherical anymore, his eyes have that low lidded look, which is my favorite part of the 2D artwork, and his neck has been made taller and skinnier so that he looks like an actual dinosaur now. All of these subtle changes really come together to make this guy look excellent in this game, and I feel that just like Donkey Kong, soon enough he will have his big 3D game that utilizes this design or makes something completely new. I hope I'm right, because I want this dude to have his time in the spotlight for once. 80, Peach Farmer. Alright, now this is a good farmer outfit. You see, this character doesn't usually wear overalls, so adding them here makes this one stand out quite a bit from her other costumes, and she does rock them pretty well. I mean, it's no Luigi costume from that one Mario manga, but still. The hat here looks very cute. I like the boots and the collared shirt. This is a relatively simple outfit, but it works very nicely on her. Would have liked a unique trick animation here, maybe one where she pulls out some farming equipment or something, but it's fine. 79, Baby Mario Pro Racer. Yeah, the baby bros do the pro racing alts better. I just like these simpler designs and patterns more, like these striking white and red lines down the middle here, and it's pretty funny how it just says baby racing so boldly here. I also enjoy these antennae that look really damn similar to the smart steering antenna. Like if you use this costume, there's a good chance someone might mistake you for using smart steering, which is pretty funny. 78, Baby Luigi Pro Racer. It's pretty obvious I'll give the edge out to Baby Luigi anytime I can. I like his design more, I like the green here more, and I like that he's a little taller too. Maybe this antenna is here to signify that if you do use smart steering, you're basically doing baby racing. Ouch, Nintendo, kinda harsh. 77, Para Biddy-Bud. Oh, so that's where he ranks. Yeah, they didn't just add any regular Biddy-Bud, they added Para Biddy-Bud specifically. Not sure why, but I'll take it. Ever since their first appearance in Mario 3D Land, these ladybug-type creatures have shown up in plenty of platformers and spin-off games, and of course, in Mario Kart 8 as the Biddy Buggy. These are probably one of the most normal enemies in the series, right next to the Goomba. I mean, they literally just walk or fly together as a colony of multicolored bugs, which again makes me wonder why we aren't able to select separate colors for this thing when they're in the game already, but you get it at this point. These guys are neat. They have a cute voice and a very simple Mario enemy type design. Of course, right? What I find weird is how their pupils just have no color in them. It makes them seem a little soulless to me, but it's okay. I just love being able to play as a fun enemy I've seen plenty of times before, and honestly being able to play as Biddy-Bud and the Biddy Buggy is enough for this to rank highly. 76, Bowser. That's right, we haven't even gotten to the main man himself yet. Bowser, like many others in this game, got a slight redesign to make him look more like his 2D artwork, basically just shrinking his mouth area a bit so it doesn't protrude so much, and he looks way better now. He just seems a lot more expressive in this game. He gives off more dad energy than scary final boss energy. Makes sense for a kart racer. Even his shell looks friendlier too, which I know is crazy to say for something that looks like that. It just has that toy-like appearance to it, and the spikes don't look as sharp anymore. And since this is what you're mostly gonna see when racing, I'm glad it looks more cartoony now. He's still a ferocious beast, don't get me wrong, but I do think this is my favorite he's ever looked. 75, Monty Mole. If there's any enemies that deserve to be playable in this game, this mole is definitely one of the most deserving. Monty's been around for years and has been playable in countless entries like Baseball, Mario Party, and recently Mario Kart with Tour, and now he's finally in a console entry here. How could you not love this fat lard? Look at how he slaps his belly on the select screen. Again, another enemy I'm happy I get to play as in this game, and I'm not sure there's much more to say than that. I love his design and his inclusion here. 74, Yoshi Soft Server. Great pun aside, this is yet another really cute alt. Looks like Toadette hired Pink Yoshi to work at her world famous ice cream company. Hope he's getting treated well. The color palette here is very pleasant yet again, with the pink, blue, and white all complementing each other nicely. Hang on a second. I love this random ice cream cone they added to the back here, and this spiny shell ice cream design is sick as hell. Not sure how good that would actually taste, but it sure does look cool. 73, Wario Work Crew. Speaking of manual labor, you can tell this guy's been doing some. This is just kind of a cool look for him. If you like your Italian men greasy and sweaty, this one's for you. I like the towel he's got around his neck. His sleeves are literally rolled up, of course, and this helmet with the question block design is sick, although I think this is meant to represent the item box more. This just seems like the kind of thing he'd wear to pretend he's doing work, when in reality, he'd rather let his Diamond City buddies do all the heavy lifting. 72, Toad Engineer. Oh look, 2 working men alts in a row. Yeah, this is another charming one. The little hat, the overalls, the red scarf around his neck, heck, even the ash that's been left behind on his head and face. They put some work into this one, as did he. Just look at how the hat bounces up and down every time you jump. I love when characters' hats do that in this game, and frankly, any game. Look at this tricking animation where he chugs along like a goddamn train. This is some quality stuff right here. 71, Goomba. Alright, now this dude is number 1 in terms of deserving to be playable here. Like,
like, come on! He's been the first enemy ever since the beginning, showing up in nearly every mainline game, the spin-offs. Why am I even explaining this? It's a Goomba! And yet, he's hardly ever playable. They made him a part of the baseball games many years ago, even though he didn't have arms to hold the bat. So what's stopping him from appearing elsewhere? Thankfully, he's been playable in a few Mario Party games lately, and now appearing in Mario Kart for the first time. Took you long enough. No arms be damned. Half the new additions in this game don't have arms anyways. This guy fits in well enough. Interestingly though, he has kinda gotten a redesign lately. His mouth area is protruding outwards a lot more now. Honestly, I'm not sure how to feel about this change because it kinda looks a bit weird to me, but maybe I just have to get used to it. I'm glad he finally got unstuck from between those two pipes so that he can kart race now. Good for him. 70, Wario Biker. Wario Biker? Are you sure about that? I mean, he sure does look similar, but this isn't the Wario Biker I know and love. This is like a copyright-free version of the outfit from WarioWare, which is something I've wanted playable in Mario Kart for years. I mean, this is literally his main costume in Smash, and it's a goddamn biker outfit. It would fit perfectly in a racing game. Why haven't they put it in yet? The thing is, this does look extremely similar to it besides a few glaring differences. He's got these shades that make him look like a Republican, this sick Moo Moo Meadows hat which is really funny and I wish I could have it in real life, and this design on the back of a star wearing a sombrero? Is that what this is supposed to be? He's also got a bit of a rat tail too. This is definitely a unique costume, no doubt, and pretty goddamn cool too, I'd say. But still, I would have just preferred his iconic biker outfit. It's just such a weird situation, cause like, why don't you want to use designs you've already made and instead make new ones that are near identical to the ones you could have used already? Sure, you could say it's for variety, but like, I just want to play as Captain Toad and Biker Wario, damn it. And since these costumes are already so close to the real thing, just with a few small differences, why not just give us the real thing? I'll never know what goes on in the minds of Nintendo sometimes, but for what it is, this is still a cool costume. The real one would have probably been S tier though. 69, Snowman. Yep, Snowman. Okay, this is one of the few exceptions where I can hear you say, this character didn't belong in the game, and I'd get it. I mean, this is hardly even a Mario character, but it is a sort of prominent Mario Kart character, first appearing in Frappe Snowland back on Mario Kart 64, then Snowland on Super Circuit, DK Pass on Mario Kart DS, and a few other tracks too. And lo and behold, DK Pass is in this game. But like, you wanna know what the funniest part is? They literally removed the snowman from DK Pass! Believe me, I checked, and there's just no snowman anywhere in the track now. So they brought this course back, removed the snowman, and then made him playable. Like, what? To me, this is a bigger meme pick than the cow, cause like, it's just a snowman. Not even Mr. Blizzard, who's been in a few Mario games before. Snowman. I honestly do like this inclusion a little less than others, since this isn't really a prominent Mario character, like, at all, but it is funny to play as the world famous DK Pass Snowman, and you can't take away that joy and whimsy from my soul. 68, Rosalina Pro Racer. Now this is just a stylish look. Yeah, this definitely works better for Rosa than Peach, I'd say. Baggy clothes seems like more her kind of thing in general, and this outfit already looked pretty celestial with the white and black color scheme. Since it's Rosa, the outfit's gotta look a little different than the other two princesses. This time she has the jacket the other girls were already wearing tied around her waist. This is an excellent design choice. It just fits her personality to style it like this. I love how they actually change the designs to fit the characters instead of copy-pasting the same costumes and just changing the colors. Without the jacket, we can see this galaxy text printed on her arm just to remind you what game she's from. Neat. 6-7, Birdo. Been a hot minute since we've seen her, huh? Birdo is just one of those character archetypes I find really entertaining to see in cartoons or non-cartoons. The Miss Piggy type, where despite being an animal, she's still a goddamn diva and everyone acknowledges her as such. I mean, she's got stores with her face plastered on them and giant beautiful statues made of her. Now if this doesn't scream Miss Piggy, then I don't know what does. Just look at these trick animations. This pink dinosaur thing's got style. I mean, if she looked at you like this, you'd understand the placement. Another kinda big redesign happened here. They smoothed out out her mouth tunnel thing so that it has a more rounded shape. Definitely looks a lot more cartoony now. And they gave her eyes this sultry half-lidded look, which of course fits her personality perfectly. Birdo's always been one of my favorites from the series, and clearly Nintendo agrees. I mean, they keep putting her in every RPG, even when most other Mario characters never show up one time, and she's always a highlight whenever she appears. Also, just to clear the air while I'm here, yes, Birdo is her preferred name now, not Burdetta or whatever. I mean, if she really felt uncomfortable with it, she would have asked Nintendo or literally anybody in universe to not have jewelry stores with that name on it. It's pretty clear that she reclaimed it years ago. Good for her. If you didn't understand anything I said, just don't worry about it. We still may never know who that ring belongs to. 66. Luigi Happy. Luigi if he Japan. I just love the happy costumes in this game. They just make me so glad. The cool blue and white robe with the sick looking cheap design in the back is excellent. And you gotta love the bandanas showing off their full heads of hair. It's a very unique look. These sock looking shoe things are kinda weird, but it probably makes sense given the context. Green is a pretty nice color to add to this, but of course there is another color I like more here. 65. Mario Happy. This is what Mario would look like if he was made in Japan. Thank God that didn't happen. I mean, come on, this just looks right on him. It's an Odyssey and Tour costume, of course, so that means it'll get more points in my book, but the red here mixed with the white and blue just works a lot better. It reminds me of the Mechanic Mario costume and nothing more. He just seems like more of a multicultural guy in general. Makes sense when you're an iconic mascot made to appeal to everyone, so I could just see him wearing this no problem. 64. Waluigi Biker. Now, unlike Wario, this dude hasn't had a biker outfit before, so this design is completely original. It does mimic Wario's biker outfit in this game quite a bit, with the jagged edges on his vest and the Republican glasses, but they made this one fit Waluigi pretty well. I just love the do-rag with his backwards L logo printed very largely on it, and the back of his vest has this sick fireball design too. This just looks great on him. Even if I think of Wario more as a biker first, way before Waluigi, this fit might just convince me otherwise. 63. Donkey Kong. And thankfully not 64. Alright, we've made it. This is the point of the video where I talk about how much I love this new redesign. Like, come on! He doesn't look like he always wants to kill the nearest living creature now. He's actually got expressions. Look at how much he claps. Look at how much he smiles when he's tricking. Look at how much he dabs when he hits someone with a star. It's 2026 and this dude is still dabbing. I just love it, man. Such a refreshing take after spending so many decades with the character. And no, I don't think the rare design was bad or anything. I just think lately it's been showing its age a little. And while I don't think this game has the best DK model either, the one in Bonanza is definitely much better. That doesn't mean this looks bad in the slightest. He actually looks like someone who'd headline his own franchise instead of just a side character now. I mean, photo mode really gives you a good look at some of these expressions. This one looks nearly identical to his classic rare design. This one looks like he just walked in on something he shouldn't have, and this one looks like you walked in on something you shouldn't have. 62. Toadette Explorer. Now this is a good Explorer outfit. Just like the Toad costume, this isn't quite Captain Toadette, but like, it might as well be, you know. Her outfit just has a pinkish hue and she has a hat with a lamp now instead of just a headlamp. And yet, this looks way more accurate. I was always gonna rank this higher because it's Toadette, of course, but this is pretty spot on to how we're designing Captain Toad already looked instead of looking like a copyright-free knockoff. This is what I like to see. Sure, the hat might be a little distracting at first, but honestly, I think it might look even better than the headlamp. Don't quote me on that though. I just find this one a lot more appealing to look at, and she even pulls out the goddamn super pickaxe for one of her tricks. That's a really fun detail right there. 61. Daisy Touring. Here's our first real princess touring costume, and some of these are the best in the game with how they were designed in my opinion. Unfortunately though, Daisy's doesn't quite reach those highs. I mean, this is still great, of course. I do enjoy the oversized jacket with the cartoonishly large zipper, the knee pads and bandage combo on her legs, and this Batadon patch that makes total sense considering her Mario Land origins. As a whole though, this design isn't that revolutionary to me. First of all, I'm not a big fan of how this hairdo looks from behind, and considering that's what you mostly see when racing, you can see the problem here. But that's not enough to make me rank it that lowly at all. I'm still a fan of the personality this outfit clearly shows off here. Like, come on,
this is absolutely what she'd wear when traveling. I just kinda wish it had reached the highs that the other princesses got with their touring alts, but we'll get to that later. 60. Daisy Pro Racer. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, she absolutely has the best Pro Racer alt of the trio. Yeah, 2 Daisy alts in a row, kinda funny how things line up sometimes, but this one definitely deserved the edge over the previous one. For one, she just seems like the type to wear an outfit like this more than anyone else in the trio, which again is more of a personality thing than a design thing, but like personality can be an aspect of design in some ways, so I think it's warranted to take that into account. The color combo here is also my favorite with the orange and black, and yes, the backwards cap alone does make this one the best. Sorry, not sorry. The baggy pants also fit her really well. Overall, this is another one of those alts that just makes sense, and it looking as good as it does is really just a bonus. And that's the end of A tier. Good lord, was that longer than I expected. I mean, just look at this. There's so many good costumes and characters that got grouped here. I had a hard time believing there was just so much quality in this game, but lo and behold, there absolutely is. This was kind of like the dividing line between great and absolutely top tier, and considering there's still 59 entries left to go, that really just tells you something, besides the fact that I'm easy to please. So let's get to those top tiers with S. Oh man, it's been so long since I've been cut off by the tier. This is where some excellent costumes and mostly characters are going to end up. Ones I found better than A tier and would happily choose any day, but not quite as impressive as the final tier after this one, which is home to the best of the best. There's still plenty here though, and something tells me that my taste in characters might not be the same as the majority's, which I'm absolutely fine with. 59. Birdo Vacation. I didn't realize I needed Birdo in a sundress until this game, and you didn't either. For real though, I just love how this looks. The overly large hat with the sparkly blue bow is very fashionable, and the dress looks great too. This isn't one where they added too much to the design here, but I think it's still very effective. It's just another very cute outfit, and the fact it uses a great Birdo design is what really helps it out. They changed her ring to have this pearl looking jewel on it instead of the typical diamond one also. Not sure what this says about her marriage, but I'll keep a lookout. 58. Baby Mario Swimwear. Alright, this one's just fun. They gave Baby Mario an adorable swimming getup with some floaties, some big goggles, and the scuba pipe that's made to look like an actual Mario pipe. That is a really good detail. This is one of the most unique baby alts, not just in how different it looks from all the other ones, but in that there's no matching alt that they gave to Baby Luigi for some reason. Huh? Literally every single one of these baby alts match with each other in some way, whether it's the bros getting the same ones, or the princesses all matching as a trio. But here, it's just a costume for him, which I can understand if you like it more because it's more unique because of that, but honestly, I just wanted to see baby Luigi get an alt like this too. Sure, it wouldn't have been much different besides having green goggles, I guess, but still, just such an odd choice to make this one stand out amongst all the other baby alts, but that's not really a fault against it, which is why it's still ranked so highly. 57. Wario Wicked Wasp. Speaking of completely unique costumes, this one I can understand more. This is what Mario Galaxy 3 is gonna look like in 2027. Trust me, you guys. This one is just plain funny, and I don't really understand why they did it. Like every other costume has a clear theme you can match to a section of the world, or is just an outfit style that would make sense to put a character in. But what is this? A bee? The theme of bees? We couldn't get Honey Queen back, so they substituted us with Bee Wario and Sting Bee instead, which I would say is good enough, but like, I need my queen back. Anyways, Wario pulls off this look incredibly, of course. He's as big as a bumblebee and already dresses in yellow regularly. They didn't even need to change his hat besides having some antennas stick out of it, which I think was a great design choice. They even made his little stinger pop out the back of his overalls. This is peak costume design right here. It really is mostly just his regular outfit, but with some new colors and additions, and I'm kind of a sucker for slight changes to a character's design rather than complete overhauls sometimes. It's why you'll always see me wearing the crafted Yoshi alt in Smash and nothing else. But I mean, this is clearly more than just some added texturing. It looks incredible either way. 56. Cheep Cheep. Yep, it's just a fish. A fish that has no arms, no legs, heck shouldn't even be breathing right now, is playable in Mario Kart. At this point, anything that moves could be a playable character. Let me play as Fire Snake, damn it. But alas, Yes, this is another one of those characters I feel deserve to be playable in any spin-off game. I mean, this is the first time he's been a standalone character choice ever, and like, why? We already had Blooper playable in Mario Party 8 and the Sluggers games back in the Wii era. Was Cheep Cheep really that outlandish of a choice? This is an iconic enemy in the Mario cast, the main bad guy you see when you're playing an underwater level, and they've appeared in countless games at this point. Listen, I get it, it's just a fish. There's not really a character here in the proper sense. All I'm saying is that you know the design, you know the name, and in a non-narrative kart racing game where all that characters matter for are mostly aesthetic differences besides a few stats, what's wrong with wanting an iconic design in the series playable? It's a cute fish, and being able to play as it is fun. Sure, in a perfect world we'd get some RPG characters and these enemies or whatever, but don't say that these guys are filler or don't deserve to be in the game when they've been in probably 100 more games than any of your favorite RPG scrimblos. Okay, sorry, that'll probably be the last time I complain about the roster complainers. What I will say is that it's kinda crazy how they gave this guy semi-realistic scale texturing. Like, goddamn! This is something they do with a lot of enemies in this game, and it makes sense given we're in the 4K Switch 2 era now, so it's cool to see some of these dudes looking as HD as ever. 55, Stingbee. Speaking of exactly that, just look at Stingbee. His body is looking fuzzier than ever here. It's interesting because these designs are still so unbelievably simple while now having some semi-realistic texturing. It kind of reminds me of those Super Mario in real life images, except if it actually looked good. I'm not gonna go on the whole rant again, especially considering Stingbee hasn't shown up in as many games as someone like Cheep Cheep, but like, it's a cute bee. What is there to even hate on here? The fact that we got him instead of Honey Queen, well, maybe you're onto something. It really did feel like they gave the 3D land/world enemies some major love in this game, which is interesting. You can tell they think of those games as more synonymous with classic Mario as opposed to something like Odyssey, which is why there's no enemies or NPCs from that game playable, which sucks because I would absolutely play as a Toasterina non-stop if he was a character here. 54, Peepa. Speaking of 3D land/world enemies, here's another one. You see, Boo is already playable in a lot more games than you'd think, so why not have another ghost from the series playable in this game? It's funny because normal Boo has never been playable in Mario Kart despite appearing in so many other spin-offs, of course because of King Boo taking the space for him, and I guess he is an item now, so they'll probably never add him. So having this other little ghost as compensation is awesome. Again, this is another extremely simple design here, basically just a Boo but with a more cartoonish sheet-like ghost body and a different looking face, and I love it. I mean, she literally looks like SpongeBob when he was a ghost. How could you not like this? And in this game, they don't have only one singular voice clip like most other games with this enemy, so that just makes the inclusion better in my eyes. 53, Rosalina Aero. Alright, now this is the start of a big category of characters here, a lineup that are basically just the racing outfits. I usually don't like grouping a lot of similar costumes together to spice up the rankings, but a lot of these are very similar in quality, that quality being a lot, so I just decided to have a big group of them here, and we're starting with Rosa. Now don't be upset because she got the low end of the stick. This outfit is still ranked 53, which if you've been listening so far instead of keeping this video on in the background while you're playing some other game, you'll know is pretty damn good. I mean, she looks great in this, of course. These biker outfits have always had excellent designs. It's just that I think the other girls look slightly better in theirs, really. 52, Peach Aero. First of all, it's my girl Peach, and secondly, seeing her wear something like this back in the Wii era was kinda crazy, wasn't it? I just love the pink and white color scheme here, and this gets extra points for being the war outfit she wore during the movie, which does not make sense given it's called Aero instead of Biker. It still does feel like a kinda weird name change though, like I guess cause you can't use them on vehicles besides bikes it wouldn't make sense, but that didn't stop them from making completely new biker alts in this game. I suppose they aren't really biker outfits in the traditional sense, so it is fair. 51, Luigi Pro Racer. Yep, these are in the racing section. I really love these traditional racer alts they gave to Mario and Luigi in this game. These are what I'd expect these characters to look like if this game took the Mario sports game approach and gave them outfits corresponding to the sport itself. This one being, you know, racing. It's just fun to see them in the traditional outfits for this genre. It kind of feels satisfying in a way, and them looking so good is really the cherry on top. Luigi looks great here with his green, of course, but he's not the main character, so I don't care. 50, Daisy Aero. We're at the top 50 now, and I think this is an excellent alt for the milestone. Color scheme is great, yada yada, but I also love this unique parting of the ponytail to one side here. It's a pretty interesting way for them to style the hair, and I really do like how it looks. But really, the main reason why I rank this one higher than the others is because it reminds me of Mario Kart Wii. I mean, come on, Daisy on the Mach Bike was pretty much the meta, only playing second fiddle to Funky on the Flame Runner, of course. And again, anything that reminds me of Mario Kart Wii gets extra points in my book. I don't care if it's low effort reasoning, it's my list, damn it. And besides, these are all pretty damn close anyways in terms of quality. I had to find some excuses to rank choices higher, and also, it's Daisy! 49, Mario Pro Racer. Now this just looks like a peek into an alternate timeline, one where Nintendo made realistic Mario racing games and had every character wear outfits like this, and honestly, I love it, especially in this context where it's just a fun, wacky go-kart competition. Even still, you gotta dress up like you mean it. I love this trick animation where he points to the sky, and I like the design of this costume a lot more than the racing Mario out from Odyssey and Tour. Honestly, now that I think about it, that's probably what he looked like in a realistic racing game. I much prefer the wackier vibe this outfit gives off instead. 48, Pauline Aero. And for our final racing alt in a row, we've got what's probably the most unique one. Despite how much of a crime it is that Pauline also has only one alt, at least they gave her an absolutely banging outfit to be that one alt, in more ways than one. I mean, it just makes sense. All the princesses get these fun, colorful biker outfits that suit them, while the mayor from New Donk City gets the more realistic biker outfit. It's unique in how it's not unique, but it's still a great design regardless. The red and gold is an interesting color palette to use here, and it's really striking too. I would say more, but I fear what I have to say probably isn't safe for YouTube, so I'll just stop here. 47, Waluigi Road Ruffian. Now this is just a badass look. He really looks like someone you shouldn't mess with now. You just know he's got goons for days, meaning henchmen. It's pretty monotone color-wise, but I do love that messed up purple mohawk he's got on. I'm not sure if it's part of the helmet or there's just a compartment for a mohawk to go through. I like the goggles and the fingerless gloves, two things we see on quite a lot of alts in this game, and I also like these shoulder pads with these rods sticking out that make him look like Cloud. 46, Fishbone. Fishbone. Not dry fish, not even bonefish like I sometimes misremember his name as. Fishbone. Honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I feel like this inclusion was what kind of crossed the line for some people, and I really do get it, cause like, this is an insane pick. Not only is it another fish with no arms or legs, it's a dead one this time. I mean, Dry Bones has always been playable, no problem, but like, this is different. This looks like something you'd find in a dumpster, not a Mario Kart racer. Well, that's cause Pink Gold Peach isn't in this game. Unlike her though, this enemy has had plenty of appearances in the series before, first appearing in the water levels of Super Mario World, then showing up in nearly every 2D platformer since then, and even a few spin-offs too. At this point, you know me well, and the fact we're at this placement at all, I love how unbelievable this inclusion was. There's no way anyone had this dude on their roster wish list besides maybe an ironic one, and yet he's here anyways. I love how much he spins around, I love the little bone noises he makes. This is exactly the kind of wackiness I like to see in my kart racer. I understand if you wanted more important characters from the series, I guess, but for me personally, I'll happily stick with my Fishbone. 45, King Boo. It's about time the king himself showed up, and man is he looking better than ever. It's no Luigi's Mansion design, which is a shame, but this new Boo design is so fun and charming that I hardly even care. See, if it was just normal King Boo, he would have still been rated highly, but not this highly. But since this is yet another redesign that makes the character look more like the 2D artwork, this is such an incredible look. It's crazy how much they were able to modify such a simple face, but even small changes can go a long way with good character design. The eyebrows are bigger, and the eyes can move together a lot more closely now. This makes for a face that's more cartoonish than ever, and they even gave his lip more of a curl now, which is yet another feature that makes the design that much less sterile. Now, being realistic, this isn't really a King Boo redesign. This is just a Boo redesign that they made a little bigger and has a crown now. But like, come on, this is still an awesome looking character. It's funny to think that normal Boo will probably never be a playable racer in any of these games, but I'd much rather play as the king anyways. 44, Coin Coffer. Now here's a character who didn't need a redesign, and another goddamn 3D land enemy. Geez, how many of these are there? While Coin Coffers did first appear in that game, this enemy type can actually be seen as far back as Mario 64 with the money bags, who are also creatures that are invisible until you get close to them, then drop tons of coins until you eventually defeat them. Coin Coffers work pretty much the same way, except I just like the designs more. First of all, very bright, saturated colors here with the green and gold, and also some more semi-realistic texturing with the material around its skin making it look more purse-like, and the metallic gold for its lips really shining. I feel like I could hold this thing in real life, and I want to. As you can see, this design is meant to look like a living coin purse, which is really genius considering it spews out coins for a living, and it also resembles a frog for some reason. Not sure why, but hey, I love that it does. I feel like me being such a big Mario fan makes me appreciate choices like these more, because I've seen these guys in plenty of games and have already grown to like their designs, so being able to play as them in Mario Kart is just so fun. I mean, just look at the character icon they made for him. 43, Bowser Supercharged. Wait, Supercharged? Is this a reference to my glorious game, Skylanders Supercharged? I say that as if I only didn't play Swap Force. To be real, despite the name literally being the exact same as the game, I don't think this is necessarily a reference to that design. They look different enough for me to think this was just a big coincidence, but arguably, I think this design's better. It's both extreme and yet not too visually busy. I love the furnace looking plate right in front of him, and the fire patterns look sick too. Of course, his shell is where most of the action is. Just look at these huge exhaust pipes, these two gauges on the back, these metallic looking spikes. This costume's rad as hell. This just fits Mr. Jack Black perfectly. A sick, over-the-top outfit that you know was a pain to put on, but damn was it worth it. 42, Baby Rosalina Touring. For a complete vibe shift, here's an absolutely adorable Baby Rosalina all, and the best baby all in the game. I mean, how could it not be? Just look at this. First of all, we've got some extremely big goggles mentioned, this big star zipper on the front, and of course, these oversized sleeves. It's like they took a piece of wardrobe from the actual Rosalina's closet and made the baby version wear it instead, and I love that they did. Just look at how these sleeves hang over the handles of all these bikes. This is peak character design. What a unique design decision to make for Baby Rosalina's touring all of all things, but a fantastic idea nonetheless. Good job, babies. You actually did a pretty decent job in the costume department. 41, Penguin. Okay, this guy should have been playable in the series ages ago. I'm serious. These are the iconic Mario series penguins, or more notably, the penguins from Mario 64, except this looks to be a full-grown penguin, so it's sadly not the one you throw off the edge. These guys have shown up in the series countless times, including the Galaxy games, the Mario parties, and of course, the Mario Karts, usually being hazards on many of the snow levels, so of course they're gonna be playable here, even though there's like no tracks where these guys are actually hazards in this game. Oh wait, I almost forgot, they had a pretty big role in the Mario movie too, being the residents of the Snow Kingdom and even having their own king. I really wish that king outfit was an alt for the penguin in this game, but maybe I'm asking for too much out of my $100,000 video game. I always love how the Mario series depicts actual animals, and we'll see more of that later on, and these guys are iconic NPCs from the franchise, so their inclusion here is absolutely justified. Really nice to see them here. 40, Yoshi Aristocrat. Now this might be the most dapper fellow I've ever seen. You can already tell this chap loves tea and hates the lower class. This was just a fun idea. Using purple Yoshi for this really works well. The color somehow fits fanciness perfectly, even though the rest of it is mostly just brown. We've got all the articles you'd expect here. The spiffy bow tie, cartoonish top hat, and the monocle that's not even attached to anything, cause really, it doesn't need to be. He's also got this cane that only shows up in this crazy cool trick animation. I just love how they pulled off this fancy costume and put it on one of the cutest characters. Excellent job, Miyamoto. 39, Cow. Yep. Cow. What do you mean she's called Moo Moo? She's never been called that before. It clearly says Cow right there, and this course is called Cow Meadows. Alright, listen, this is an incredible and hilarious inclusion, of course, but like, how hilarious is it before it starts to feel like a Reddit meme? It's not even just the internet. Nintendo themselves knew how funny this was and tried to make damn sure you knew. Just look at how it was the first big character reveal in the Direct trailer. Just look at the social media advertising. Look at the statue on Moo Moo Meadows. Look at the signs on Moo Moo Meadows. Alright man, we get it, it's funny! It's not even that crazy when there's like at least 5 other characters in this game that are also batshit crazy additions. The joke of the cow being playable got old really quickly. I feel like I would have ranked it higher if it weren't such a played out meme, which is a shame because this is still an awesome addition. These cows are Mario Kart exclusives, starting out as background characters in Moo Moo Farms on Mario Kart 64, then returning as actual hazards on Moo Moo Meadows in Mario Kart Wii, then Mario Kart 8, then Mario Kart World. The Moo Moos were already a meme because of this goddamn icon. In fact, I even made a video where the ending joke was this icon with the cow, so it might seem a bit hypocritical to complain about the jokes when I've already done it before, but there's a difference between doing it once and seeing it 1,000 times on my Twitter timeline when the game came out. The design here is just a cow, but with Mario eyes. Not much to talk about here, but again, I do love how the Mario series designs animals, and this is a pretty cute one. Also, for some reason, reason this cow just has a really fat ass. 38, Peach Vacation. Oh look, everyone's favorite coin boxer made it to this game too. This is just a simple, cute vacation outfit. What more is there to say really? A few things actually. Again, this gets extra points because it's an outfit from Odyssey and Tour, and I just love the accessories here. The big sun hat with a bow on it, the polka dot scarf around her neck, and the large pink skirt that's pretty reminiscent of her princess dress. It all just works really well here. Combine that with the fact that Peach actually has a good design in this game. I do not know how we dealt with her looking like this for years, and you, my friend, have an excellent alternate costume. 37, Daisy Swimwear. Alright y'all, behave. I'm telling myself that too, because they were not shy with this one. They didn't give the other princesses this alt because they knew we couldn't handle it. This is surprisingly a lot different from the swimwear Daisy alt from Tour. That one was a lot more confined and flowery looking, while this one really isn't. But I think I do like this design more. What a shocker. We've got a sideways hat here, which immediately means it's peak, and even the sideways parted hair from the Aero Daisy alt. It works really well for the beach theme. Realistically, the rest is kinda whatever, being a color combo of orange, yellow, and teal for some reason. But we've also got some sandals that double as heels apparently. I feel like that wouldn't be the most comfortable for swimming, but sure. But truthfully, it's the lack of what's left that's really the good part here. I just hope there's no elephant fruit nearby. 36, Spike. Just to let you know, right now we've entered the top section of S tier, and there's about to be a lot of Scrimblow enemies and NPCs here, along with a few alts, and we're starting off with someone who undeniably deserved to be here. It's Mr. SMG4 character himself, except it's an annoying joke at this point to keep calling him that, so please stop. Spike is an iconic enemy from the series, first appearing in Mario 3 before leaving for a while and coming back in New Soup Wii, and appearing in tons of games since then, sometimes even playable. So it just makes perfect sense for him to be playable here too. I love how much they play around with the fact he throws up spike balls, almost too much, cause like, he does not need to keep doing that. Good lord, is this edging? This dude's been a meme in multiple ways at this point. Really, it would have been a crime if he wasn't playable here, which really says a lot about the Mario enemies, doesn't it? 35, Sidestepper. Okay, this one is funny for multiple reasons. First of all, it's a goddamn crab, one that doesn't even put his claws on the steering wheel. Like, what the hell even is the reason for that? Does he have to keep this iconic pose at all times? Not just that though, this guy's been seen in Mario Kart so many times at this point. If you're a beach level, there's a good chance this guy is gonna appear on you. He's a Mario Kart staple at this point. Despite being such a prominent Mario Kart enemy though, his first appearance was actually the original Mario Bros. Arcade game back in 1983, making him one of the oldest characters in the whole series to be playable in this game. That is actually unbelievable. Being a more veteran character than ones like Peach, Bowser, or Toad, this guy's been waiting for his time in the spotlight for more than 40 years at this point, and I'd say he deserves it. Now if only we got the Shell Creepers or the Fighter Flies playable, then all will be right in the world. It is weird how he has a permanent frown on though. Like, come on buddy, you're playable now. You can at least be a little happy about it. 34, Hammer Bro. Yet another character who deserved to be here. I mean, he was literally playable in the last game. Yes, the last game. You already know this guy, first appearing in Super Mario Bros. And being one of the toughest enemies in that game, then reappearing countless times since then. This one was honestly a shoo-in. I mean, he's just a cool turtle dude who throws hammers for a living. What's there to hate on here? I really like how his shell and helmet looks like from behind. This is just an all-around great pick in my eyes. The one big problem here though, where are his brothers? Not only were they all playable in the last game, they are literally in this game as obstacles. What the hell is stopping you from putting them in the goddamn cart? Is making one new trick animation for each of them just too much work? Oh, sorry, I wanted variety in my $1 million video game. I guess I'm in the wrong here. Nintendo is so weird sometimes, and that'll probably never change, but at least we got one bro in here, for what it's worth. 33, King Boo Pro Racer. For a brief intermission from all the NPCs, here's a sick King Boo alt. This is really straightforward while also being so impactful. They really just added a helmet and visor and that's that. But man does it look nice. I love the purple they use here, very reminiscent of a Luigi's Mansion King Boo design. Still not sure why they didn't add it, but hey, I'm glad purple is his signature color at least. He's got some sponsors like himself and even just one that says swoop for some reason. Literally nothing else.
just swoop.
This is just a cool addition to an already cool character, but you want to know the best part about this? It feels like a reference to the goddamn spooky speedster from Mario Galaxy. The whole outfit looks different enough, but it's a Boo in a helmet and visor. That would be a pretty huge coincidence if it was one. 32 Pianta. Okay, this one's kind of strange because like this is the only NPC character who's not an enemy besides like the penguin, I guess, but even those can be hazards sometimes. These are just dudes who live on an island. Though, to be fair, those chucksters are the most dangerous enemy of all. This is an absolutely insane addition, something you'd see in a GameCube era Mario roster and not big 2025, but it's absolutely deserved. The Piantas are the residents of Isle Delfino and Mario Sunshine and have appeared a few times since then, mostly being spectators on the sides of Mario Kart races, but now they're here and ready to enter the race themselves. I love the designs of these guys. Blue Smurf looking dudes with trees on top of their heads and big grass skirts, and how could you not love their dumb voices? Although they sound a little different here because they're not voiced by Charles Martinet anymore, but it's still basically the same vibe. These are just iconic NPCs from the Mario series. Even if you don't like the enemy additions here, you gotta admit that these guys deserve to be behind the wheel. They've got a really fun design. Now, would I have liked to see all the other Pianta variants be alts in this game also? Yes, I would have, but you already know that. 31 Dolphin. Man, I love this game. We've got Cow, we've got Penguin, we've got Dolphin. At this point, we're gonna get the whole animal kingdom in here. Dolphins first appeared in Super Mario World, not at any other point in history, and have reappeared in plenty of spin-offs since then, sometimes even with a doctorate. This is another case where I love how the Mario series designs animals. They've got this very vibrant blue color on them, these huge Yoshi-looking snouts which make sense given their origins, and these goggles that seem to be more of a biological feature than an accessory. Just a very unique and charming design for a simple dolphin. I love the noises they make too, yet another creature that just sounds so dumb. When you hear them humming on the select screen, I swear they sound like the dog from that one dog in a plane video. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. And yeah, just being able to play as a dolphin in general is crazy. They just float above the vehicles without a care in the world. And of course, playing as the dolphin on the Dolphin Dasher is something I never knew I truly needed. 30 Pokey. Wait a second, Pokey's playable too? I think this calls for a Pokey party!
Wants a Pokey party, so you have to make your own decorations.
I really hope that kid's still around and loves this edition, cause I know I sure as hell do. These guys are classic desert enemies, first appearing in Mario Bros 2 with this sickly green appearance. Does this mean they're a Mario enemy or a Doki Doki Panic enemy? Good to see more representation from this game though, maybe next time we'll get Mouser. These are just tall, spherical cactuses with a randomized number of segments, in this game having 3, and that's why I like playing as them. It's really as simple as, this is a creature I've seen ever since my childhood, and now I get to play as them in this racing game. That's all I really need to like in addition. Yes, I'm simple-minded. But I'm also right. Just think of all the kids that have Poke parties every year. They finally get some recognition in this game. You don't see any kids having Geno parties, do you? 29 Wiggler. In terms of tall, segmented yellow creatures, this one still clears. Wiggler is one of those characters you wouldn't expect to be playable often, but they have been a shocking amount of times, participating in a few sports and making their Mario Kart debut back in 7, where a lot of people hated their addition even though they were a very unique choice. This is just an absolutely adorable caterpillar, an adorable caterpillar that can get extremely angry at a moment's notice. Pretty funny idea to just make it so that a defining trait of this character is that they get really mad and sound like an oncoming train. They were cooking when they came up with this guy. I absolutely love their dance on the select screen, the fact that they have to wear 2 sets of gloves here, and their abnormal trick animations where they revert back to caterpillar. This is a guy I love seeing playable in any game, especially considering how convoluted of a body structure they've got, so I'm glad Nintendo keeps bringing them back. 28 Dry Bones. Everyone's goat has finally arrived, and I mean everyone's. I swear, you're hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't love Dry Bones, and this might be crazy considering where he is on the rankings, but I feel like he's a teensy bit overrated. I really do enjoy this guy, don't get me wrong, but it feels like there's so many people out there who would label this as their favorite Mario character, and I kind of feel like that's a bit too far. I'm not gonna say I don't get it, I just don't get how often I see love for this guy. I mean, it's a great character design, but I wouldn't say it's the best in the entire goddamn series. It's just a skeleton turtle. What I do like though, is that it allows me to do what I've been waiting to do the entire video. This is a Mario enemy, and everyone likes him! Appearing back in Mario 3, this guy's been playable so many times in the series, to the point where if he isn't in a game, people riot! The Dry Bones fandom is a real thing, and it's all for this seemingly unimportant character who doesn't have a defined personality. Really makes you think, doesn't it? It's almost like people enjoy these characters simply for their designs and not their pre-established personalities, because why would you care about that in a goddamn party game? Who's to say that Dolphin, Cataquack, Rocky Wrench, Charge and Chuck, Coin Coffer, Peepa, Cogdor won't also get big fan bases if they don't appear in more games? Cause guess what? They will! They also have fun, memorable designs that people will really latch onto over time, so if you wouldn't call this unimportant skeleton turtle a filler character, then why would you call any of these other unique designs that also? Unless it's Snowman. See, that one I'd get. 27, Yoshi Food Slinger. Being a Wagy never looks so damn good. This costume's great for so many reasons. First of all, light blue's my second favorite Yoshi color next to blue, and the other color used here is my actual second favorite color, which is orange, making for one of the most satisfying color palettes in the whole game. Like seriously, everything feels like it's just the right shade here. This is one of those alts that's so pleasing to the eyes. The costume in general is also just great. Of course, the Yoshi stands are a pivotal part of the world in this game, so having an alt based on it just makes sense. The hat with the huge earpiece is incredible, the jacket with the Yoshi egg zipper is really charming, and they just added a Yoshi's sticker to the shell here for no reason, but it works perfectly. That's not even all. He's got some permanent food crumbs on the side of his face too, another really charming detail. Now I'm not sure if this means he takes a bite out of every meal he serves, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. 26, Lakitu. This might be one of the biggest shocks in the entire video, cause it certainly feels like it to me. I can still hardly believe it, but they made a character I would never pick in any other Mario Kart game into not only one that I would, but maybe one of my favorite designs in the entire game. This is the biggest character upgrade here, and it's even crazier how simple it was. All they did was make his face a little chubbier, give him the actual correct color shell this time instead of a red one for some reason, and make his glasses completely white just like the 2D art has always done instead of leaving them empty, making him look unbelievably ugly. Really all he needed was that last part. Now he looks like an actual cartoon character instead of this freakish turtle thing, and for some reason on the key art they still model him like this even though he looks nothing like that in game. Like, can I sue them for false advertising or something? This is the goofiest little goober I've ever seen. Just look at these expressions and you'll see what I'm talking about. He can actually emote now, and really well at that. Look at him when he's upset. This is one of the best faces in the game. I can just imagine this dude being the annoyingly smart sidekick in a cartoon. He probably sounds like that Google guy from Ralph Breaks the Internet, but a little higher pitched. I'm sorry for bringing that movie up, but it's true. Listen, if you're gonna take away one thing from this video, I want it to be this. How much they improved the design of one of my least favorite Mario Kart characters and turned it into one of my favorites, all by making such simple changes. It really shows how minimal alterations in character design can make all the difference sometimes. And would you believe it? He was the final character in S tier. This is probably gonna be the most controversial tier here if I had to guess, but to me, there is so much quality and fun to be found here. You can tell they really appeal to a guy like me with the character choices in this game, huh? But this tier also had some incredible alts too, so I'm sure there's a few things you'd agree with me on here. But alas, we're almost nearing the finish line with... Isn't it crazy how we're at the final tier and there's still so much to go? This is where the best of the best are gonna end up. The absolute greatest alts and characters will all be highlighted here, and somehow it ended up at a satisfying 25, which I didn't even plan. I find it hard to believe you won't agree with most of the choices here, but I can never be too sure of the opinions of the internet nowadays. 25, Toadette Soft Server. We're starting off the tier with something absolutely adorable. They made Toadette's head into a giant scoop of ice cream. Isn't that just genius? At first I thought they just put sprinkles on top of her head, which would be weird, but this is actually an ice cream hat she's wearing in the exact same color as her head, which definitely makes more sense. We've got the pink, white, and blue color palette again. but this time with some added yellow, and I think this really looks nice. She's got white spectacles, a big sparkly blue bow, and some overalls on too. She's even got a piece of candy in her back pocket, you know, for emergencies. This look is so cute and corporate too. I mean, she practically owns Sky High Sundae in this game, so this is probably like a work or mascot uniform or something. Good to know that even at her cutest, she's still just trying to sell you something. 24, Rosalina Aurora. I could hardly believe my eyes when I first saw this. Not only is the Aurora costume from Mario Kart Tour back, but they made it look so much better here. I love how much the dress sticks out now. I was always a fan of this dress anyways because I'm a fan of the Northern Lights, but they just made it look so much better in this game. This is unbelievably gorgeous. This color scheme uses much darker blues and purples than what Rosalina usually wears, and yet it works perfectly. She rocks the wintry aesthetics flawlessly. The diamonds in her hair always kind of felt a little bit overboard, but they do look really nice regardless. I feel like the more I see them, the more I appreciate their inclusion. See, this is why I wanted more tour outfits in this game. Not just because they're nostalgic already, yeah I know the game is only a few years old, shut up, because they can be improved so much more in this game by using higher quality models and being worn by characters with higher quality models. I'm really glad this one made the cut. 23, Peach Sightseeing. Listen, I'm putting this up here because this is a very unique look, alright? It's like a more casual version of the vacation outfit while still being very stylish, and the colors pop here immensely well. I mean, this might be the hottest pink I've ever seen. This outfit feels like it was made for HDR. It was also made for, me. The ribbon on top is pretty fashionable, and it even styles her hair in a way that I've never seen before, which is pretty cool. The blue shirt works very well with the pink, and the jeans sure are tight. Same with the belt, like good lord, is that thing just really squeezing her or what? This is another one of those cases where I cannot say more in fear of the YouTube guidelines, which should not be an issue in a goddamn Mario character ranking, but damn it have they made some insanely good alts for their children's racing game, haven't they? 22, Mario Cowboy. Speaking of sexy, take a look at this dude. Dressing up like a cowboy is nothing new for this guy, the first occurrence being in Western Land from Mario Party 2, then reappearing in a new form in Mario Odyssey, so you'd think this would just be the Odyssey costume, right? Surprisingly, no, there's actually a lot of differences here that you might not catch at first glance, and I can already tell I like this look way more. First of all, he's got a red scarf now, which makes way more sense than yellow ever did, and the whole fit just has a more classic cowboy aesthetic with it being mostly brown. The best parts are absolutely these Mario icons though. This sick looking star on the middle of the hat is such a nice addition, so much so that they added another star as like a badge here, along with this belt resembling a question block, which is unnecessarily cool, and the design on the back of yet another superstar. This is just a badass look through and through. I mean, it was always gonna be. It's Mario dressed as a cowboy, but they took the old cowboy outfit they had and completely remodeled it into something way cleaner. The extra effort is very much appreciated here. 9 plus 10, Conkdor. Speaking of badass, take a look at this dude. This is yet another hilarious addition, and yet another 3D World enemy, and yet another character I love. Conkdors have shown up a surprising amount of times since 3D World, which is to say, more than once, but they're so iconic at this point that there's even Lego of them, and they're even in real life! Literally all these guys do is peck the ground in front of them, and they'll absolutely remind you of that any chance they get. You'd think these guys would look like condors given the name, but they actually look more like ostriches with how long their necks are, and this design is just super fun. You gotta love the long neck to small body ratio here. I love how small his feet are, his little wagging tail, and this spiky shell he's got on for some reason. So is he also a turtle or what? But the best part, of course, are these glasses they've got on. I'm not sure what they were cooking when they were making this thing, but they were cooking hard. These shades are just so stylish for no reason. They turned a design that was already funny into one that's really funny. I mean, seriously, all you need to do is look at the screen to see why it's ranked so highly. This is just a comedically tall character, and I'm glad they decided to make him playable anyways. I could genuinely see an unironic fan base forming for this guy in the future. This is such a good character design. 20, King Boo Pirate. Speaking of good character design, okay, we get it. I mean, this one's simple. They turned King Boo into a pirate, probably one of the most natural costumes for a character to wear. It just looks perfect on him. This is definitely going for the more haunted pirate aesthetic. No kidding. With this coat being pretty old and worn out, out and using this ghoulish blue on it. The eye patch is great, of course. Love how small it's gotta be for his tiny little eye. And he's got this tiny little medallion wrapped around where a neck would be. My favorite part might be this hat filled with tons of jewels in it, one of them being his crown itself, and also this suspicious looking purple gem right next to it that looks an awful lot like the one that Luigi's Mansion King Boo uses. Either way, this is just one of those outfits that makes total sense, and they pulled it off really well here. 19. Lakitu Fisherman. Oh look, our boy's back already. Not only does he have a great redesign, he also has some of the best alts in the game on top of that. Why the hell were they cooking so much with this guy? For the first one, he's dressed as what I assume a traditional Japanese fisherman would dress like, which makes total sense given how many times this dude fishes throughout the series. He's got the big hat, this black coat, and the best part, this floppy fishing rod that actually has physics attached to it. That's just such a fun addition, because now I can flop it around all I want in the select screen, and I love how it has a spiny egg attached to it. That's a very fun detail. This is another costume that just makes sense for the character, and another where they pulled it off extremely well. 18. Wario Road Ruffian. Now this one's just kinda insane. Wario's joined an extreme biker gang as well, and this is such a crazy look for him, but I kinda love it because of that. First of all, helmet with a mohawk already means this one's great, but this is a way more full mohawk than the one Waluigi had, which I like more. He's got tons of spikes on his shoulders, gloves, pants, really just everywhere, and he's even shirtless, so you get to see his perfectly manscaped body, which I think is kinda weird, cause like, this is the last guy I'd expect to have a clean shaven chest. This is a fat Italian dude. He should have hair everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if he shaved his chest hair into the shape of a W. But this is Nintendo, so I feel like that won't happen anytime soon. At least we got this incredible looking costume regardless. 17. Bowser Biker. Here's another insanely cool alt. This time, a cool Bowser. Another one that just makes sense. We've got biker alts in this game, so why not turn the big bad villain into a biker as well? But they went all out with the design here. We've got the usual biker attire, like the shades, jacket, and ripped jeans, which all looks incredible on this big turtle guy. And I'm glad they decided to recolor the shell too, because it fits with the color scheme perfectly now. They've even got belts on it for some reason. Sure! My favorite part though is that they actually styled his hair for the look too. Really all that happened is that the front part curls now, but it does so much for the whole biker aesthetic. Another case where a minimal change can make a huge difference. I gotta say though, seeing this giant tail sticking out of his jeans makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Like this hole he had to make to fit the tail through it makes it not even look like a tail anymore. 16. Piranha Plant. It's about time we got another Smash character playable in Mario Kart. Now if only they brought back Dr. Mario from the last game. You know who the hell Piranha Plant is. I mean, they're selling overpriced cameras that look like him now. This is one of the most iconic enemies in the series. First appearing in Super Mario Bros., this plant hasn't been playable in many games, which makes sense, it's a plant, until his breakout role as a playable character in Smash Ultimate, where he's literally my secondary main behind Yoshi, then appearing in Fire form in Mario Tennis Aces, until being playable in this game. Listen, I understand if you'd want Petey Piranha here, I wished he was in the game too, but this is arguably a way more unique choice than him at this point. This is just a potted plant. I mean, this was literally an item in the last console game, which makes his inclusion here even funnier. I still get a little scared sometimes that this dude's gonna bite me if I get too close to him. This is the perfect addition for me. Who's surprised at this point? My only problem yet again is, where are the alts? There's literally 3 other variants of the Piranha Plant in this game that could have been so cool to play as occasionally. I just don't understand why they didn't put them in the damn cart. But whatever, we've been through this multiple times at this point. There might be a chance they'll add them as DLC, but that's probably copium. 15. Toad Burger Bud. It's Toad with a big burger on his head. I don't even need to write more. This one's just comical. Like, it does kind of make sense given the fast food theming of this game with all the Yoshi stands everywhere, but I would have never expected him to do something quite like this. I love how unique it is. He's got the usual diner attire on, which also looks great, fit with a bow tie, which you can never go wrong with, and of course this big, very plasticky looking burger on top. This looks like the sort of costume you get at Party City, but it's incredible because of that. I can imagine all the toads who work at Yoshi's having to wear these for every shift and hating their lives. This is peak through and through. 14, Toadette Conductor. And here's another amazing Toad costume, this time for a Toadette. They made her into a train conductor for some reason. Not really sure why, but considering they made Toad a train engineer and Whistle Stop Summit exist, I suppose it fits in. It's weird because I love how not colorful this one is compared to most other costumes. I mean, this is just a tried and true conductor outfit right here. It makes the bright pink from Toadette's head pop out that much more. Even without many bright colors, it's still an adorable look on her either way. I love the hat on top of the giant head as always, the bow tie which you can still never go wrong with, and the gold outlining really makes it seem professional. I also absolutely love this trick animation of her doing a classic train whistle gesture. It's just too good. You know, these costumes really do remind me of GameCube era Nintendo. I mean, this one specifically reminds me so much of the train conductors from TTYD. I'm really glad they're allowing their characters to dress up in all sorts of unique ways again. 13, Cataquack. Speaking of GameCube era Nintendo, wow, seriously, I do not plan these segues. Okay, I know I keep saying this, but seriously, this might be the most insane addition in this game, especially considering how this enemy hardly ever shows up. First appearing in Mario Sunshine as a pretty notorious enemy in that game, it's reappeared in Mario Galaxy, in Peach Beach from Mario Kart Double Dash, and that's really it. In fact, the only reason why this guy keeps showing up is because Peach Beach keeps coming back. First in Mario Kart Wii and now Mario Kart World, and that's enough for him to be playable. Not even the GameCube era rosters that threw every character from Sunshine into the spin-offs decided to make this guy playable. What is going on here? This is such a good addition though, considering how much of a meme this enemy already is. Like I said, he's a pretty memorable part of Sunshine already, and his design is especially memorable. I don't even know what they were going for here. Like, yeah, given the name, it's supposed to be a duck-like creature, but like, it's so odd looking. You can tell this was an early 2000s era model, and I love it for that. It's still very cute despite being so abstract. It's got these giant spots, which I'm not sure are supposed to be eyes or not, this little wagging tail, and these big shoes just so you know he's got style. It's also got some more semi-realistic texturing, which is crazy for a character that looks like this. I mean, just look at how sparkly gold these spots look. This is just such a fun addition. A funny, memorable enemy from a fan-favorite divisive game. I love how insane they had to go with the pick, seemingly because they wanted to use course hazards they already had, which you might say is just a lazy reusage of assets if it weren't for all the new animations, voice clips, and more animations they had to do for these characters. I think they legit just want to put them in here. 12, Rosalina Touring. Jesus Christ, is this a good fit. This is one of those costumes where every time I look back at it to make this ranking, I died of peak. Like, this is just so good. This outfit feels like fan art someone would make for Rosalina to wear, and not an official Nintendo costume. And it's so great because of that. All my favorite accessories are here. The puffy jacket, the backwards hat, and the cool blue shades. This is just style overload. Also, is she wearing a tank top under that jacket or what? That would be an insane choice, but it really does look like it. This is just a plain good outfit for an iconic character to wear. I really do love how freely they were able to dress up these guys any way they wanted to. It makes sense given the whole road trip vibe of this game, and it makes for some really sick new designs. 11, Lakitu Pit Crew. Hey look, our boy's back one final time. This costume's just great in so many ways. Again, I don't know why they were cooking so hard with this guy, but I'm so glad they did. First of all, it makes total sense given how Lakitu is always the one starting a race and saving you in a race. This guy probably put together this whole operation, so it makes total sense to give him an outfit based on that. It also just looks fantastic too. I really love how these green goggles look. He's got a helmet on that's in the shape of a cloud, and he's even got this Game Boy looking apparatus strapped to his back. There's so many cool details with this one. This just feels like the perfect design for a costume like this. I can already tell this video is gonna be positivity overload, but I just can't help it, man. They did such a good job on most of these. 10, King Boo Aristocrat. As soon as I first laid eyes upon this costume, I already knew it would be part of the top 10. Yeah, we're there now. The finish line's finally in sight, because good lord, this video's longer than I thought it would be. And now we have a fancy ghost in our presence. Yet another costume that makes complete sense. Just like the Aristocrat Yoshi, you can tell this guy loves crumpets and hates the poor. This is just so charming. He's got a top hat plus crown combo. Have you ever seen anyone pull that off before? He's got the monocle, the bow tie you can still never go wrong with, and even this very real mustache now too. Don't tell him it's not, cause he will haunt you. I love how even for the enemy type characters, they're still able to cook so hard in the costume department. See, this is why all the enemies in this game should have gotten costumes. If Koopa and Shy Guy and a Boo with a crown can, then why couldn't they as well? 9. Rocky Wrench. Alright, now this one's shocking for multiple reasons. First of all, I've kinda got a tendency on this channel to call the Rocky Wrenches on Airship Fortress disgusting, but that was never because of the design. It was because of the crusty, pixelated DS graphics that made them look so terrible. Really, I love the designs of these guys, and what I love even more is that they just brought them back. They debuted in Mario Bros. 3 with the classic design we know now, and it wasn't until New Super Mario Bros. Wii that completely remodeled them, making them look exactly like the Monty Moles, but with goggles. This was way less charming and unique than the original design. It was an unfortunate victim of the new soup era of sterilization for the series, something that Nintendo's really trying to revert back on nowadays, especially considering the classic design did come back in Roma Vanti of all places from the Booster Course Pass, then making an appearance in Mario Party Jamboree, and now showing up in this game too, being playable for the first time. If it were still just the new soup design, I would have wanted it as an alt for Monty Mole, and that's really it. But now that this enemy has its own unique design back, this edition is incredible! This mole looks pretty similar to Monty while having plenty of key differences, like a darker shade of brown, a big snout with a mouth he can actually open, and a shell on his back for some reason. I feel like if you're in Bowser's army, there's a good chance you're gonna wear a shell even if you're not a turtle. The best parts, of course, are those sleek looking goggles, and the fact he's still got his lid on. I see a few people saying this looks dumb, but like, come on, Rocky Wrench is nothing without his lid, and his wrench. Just look at his strut for his lobby animation. I can imagine this guy having a New York accent easily. I was not expecting to like this character so much, even when I knew they were getting added to the game, because of all the other crazy additions I knew were coming, but this is just such a fun and charming character design. I'm so glad it's not just a copy-pasted Monty Mole. 8. Wario Pirate. This one's just pure flames. Wario dressed as a pirate was always gonna be great, but not only does the pirate suit look sick as hell, this looks nearly identical to the Game & Wario outfit. I cannot believe they would reference that game in humongous 2025, but it's way too similar to just be a coincidence, and I actually had that game when I was a child, so this costume's almost nostalgic for me, even if the game itself wasn't the best. But with a sick reference is a sick costume. I love how gold and shiny it looks now with the gold gloves and the gold medallion, and even this golden W on the back. You can tell this costed a fortune. He even holds up the same sword from Game & Wario for his trick animation. Okay, this is undeniably a reference at this point. You know, it's funny how they have to use a royalty-free version for the Biker Wario outfit, but for Pirate Wario, just use the exact same design and spruce it up a bit. For some reason, this is able to get into the game perfectly fine, while that one can't, but I'll take any win I can get, cause this is a big one. 7. Waluigi Vampire. Waluigi Vampire. Oh my peak! Just like Rosalina Aurora, this is yet another great costume from Tour, and yet another one that's been massively upgraded. The original costume was pretty great already, the biggest change here being the fact that there's no top hat on the new one. This will probably be a controversial change, but for me personally, I could go either way. I like seeing him with his hair out here anyways. His suit's design is different now too, looking both less and more formal somehow, and his cape has been shortened too. Overall, this feels like a less showy vampire costume. But the details are better than ever. He's got these fancy ass Waluigi L's on his gloves, and very subtly on his cape too, which is amazing. He's still got those fangs if you look closely enough, and the best part, his skin is painted white too. This is such a unique design, especially considering there's nothing else that looks like this in the game, and the theming fits Waluigi perfectly. He's got this sick trick animation where bats fly out. I think you get it at this point. This is a fantastic costume. 6. Nabbit. If you know me, you know this placement is no surprise. The real surprise is honestly how he's not ranked higher. There's really not much more reason for me liking him so much than the fact that his design is really good. But there are a few more factors. First, appearing in New Super Mario Bros. U, this rabbit had his own unique set of levels where you had to chase after him, and it wasn't until New Super Luigi U where he was already playable. Wow, that was quick. This is absolutely because Mario wasn't around in that game, and they had no one else to put in, so they just added Nabbit to the roster, which then resulted in him showing back up in Mario Wonder. I
love how this dude's been playable in more mainline games than half of the core roster. For some reason, people call him an industry plant because of this, even though it was clear it was just a bunch of circumstances that led to this. And also, that's just a stupid ass thing to say, cause like, it's a Mario character. What are you talking about? He then showed up in Mario Kart Tour, and now he's in Mario Kart World. If he wasn't, I think I might have destroyed Nintendo HQ. What more is there to say? It's a greedy purple rabbit who always runs around with a sack, except unlike in Tour, he's not holding the sack at all times while racing now. While this does make more sense functionally, it kind of feels empty now without that big sack. I still love this dude so much though, with his mask that looks nearly identical to Bowser Jr.'s for some reason that we're probably never gonna find out, and the fact that he's voiced by the same voice actress that does Aegis in Persona. Just that fact alone is hilarious, but she does such a good job here. I love his noises so much. This isn't just a standard enemy like the game categorizes him and Pianta as. He's been a hero just as often as he's been a villain, probably the most chaotic neutral character on the roster if I had to guess. This was my number 1 most wanted character for this game, number 2 being Ninja. Well, I guess I can't have everything. I'm honestly surprised he's not number 1, but there are still a few more choices here I like slightly more, so these must be pretty damn good. 5. Peach Touring. Oh yeah, this is pretty damn good. The Peach alt that gets tons of fan art and the poster child for Knockout Tour in this game is finally here, and it absolutely deserves it. This is another one of those where I die from pique whenever I see it. This is just such a good outfit to put this character in. It's so new while fitting in so well. It's a pretty simple outfit all things considered. We've got the stylish looking bow on top, the jacket, the shorts, these knee pads, and these tall boots. I really love the hot pink use here yet again. It's way better than regular pink and is just such a bold color choice. Top that with an amazing Peach design, and it's really no wonder why this is popular. Just a really cute, simple, and effective outfit. The costume designers at Nintendo were at the top of their game with this game, and we're not even done yet. 4. Waluigi Mariachi. I cannot believe my eyes. Did they seriously reference the goddamn Waluigi's taco stand meme in ginormous 2025? Sure, you could say, oh, this is just a mariachi outfit, it doesn't have to be a reference, but just consider the fact that nobody else in the game has a Mexican-inspired outfit besides Waluigi. The sombrero looks really similar with a purple and yellow design on it, and like, come on! What are the chances they didn't know about this meme and just decided to give Waluigi and nobody else a Mexican costume anyways? This is not only a hilarious reference, but just a sick looking outfit in general. The classic taco stand alt was basically just a sombrero and an apron, but this is the whole package right here. He's now got a mask for some more variety, this sleek looking vest with his signature L logos on it, and these pants with a crazy looking pattern on the back. This is stylish as hell. This would have already been high for being so similar to that classic meme, but the fact it genuinely looks so good makes it one of the best in the game. This costume was such a big surprise. 3. Yoshi Biker. Okay, this costume is incredible in so many ways. First of all, it's my favorite color Yoshi, so it was gonna be great anyways. They didn't even need to give it one of the best outfits in the game, and yet they did. But also, is this actually a reference to Boshi from Mario RPG? Everyone's been saying this ever since we first saw this, and despite how much we know Nintendo's opposed to referencing the RPGs, there's just way too many similarities here. First of all, they gave this rough, badass look to Blue Yoshi specifically. He has shades on too, even if they do look different, and what's probably the most damning piece of evidence, they both have the same red spiky collar. See, the rest of this could just be the fact that it's a biker look, and they might have just chosen blue as a coincidence, sure, but they did not need to add that collar that looks exactly like the one Boshi wears. That's not really necessary biker attire, that's just a sign that this has to be a reference. Even if you still don't think so, that's fair. I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to accidentally reference an RPG character this closely, honestly. I just feel like they had to know what they were doing here, right? And yes, I know what you're thinking, unfunny, I thought you hated the RPG characters. Why is this reference to the RPGs so high up? First, it's Yoshi. Second, it's Boshi, one of the coolest looking RPG characters. Third, this would have been really high up already, reference or otherwise. This is just a sick look. Fourth, I don't actually not want the RPG characters in, okay? I just hate the people who hate on these fun rosters for not having their favorite Scrimblow's in it, which in turn kinda makes me dislike the characters themselves. Except Bobby, they should add him. But we all know Nintendo will never touch those characters again, so having this reference
nods to a really cool design from the RPGs is much appreciated in my eyes. 2. Mario Sightseeing. And here it is, the best all in the game. Something tells me this isn't controversial. I'm glad the main character of the game got the best costume. It's something I really was not expecting. Unless they brought back SNES Mario. See, now that would have been the best character. But this is still fantastic too. It's the outfit that Mario wears after you 100% Mario Sunshine, where you get these 6 shades and this cool Shine Sprite shirt. But they didn't just bring back that old design, they completely redid it. See, this outfit also appeared in Odyssey and Tour, where it was unmodified in those games, and you'd think they'd just do the same thing here, but no. It was kind of weird before how this vacation outfit still had him wear his shirt and overalls, clearly because it was supposed to be a bonus look on top of what you were already wearing, but they actually remodeled it to fit the vacation vibe way more. He's still got the shades and shirt, of course, but now his hat's been turned into a backwards cap added to the backwards cap counter. He's got on 1 unbuttoned shirt this time instead of 2, some pants, some slippers. This is the proper beach look. I really love how creative they were with the costumes in this game. They could have easily just brought back the classic look and people would have loved it, but they actually went out of their way to redesign most of these into way better outfits that fit their themes perfectly. I feel like some people may still be nostalgia blinded and say that the old look is better, but like, come on, this is literally just an upgrade. Also, the trick animation is awesome, but you already knew it would be. For being a fun reference to a classic Mario game, they really do love referencing, and just being an insanely good looking outfit in general, I have to say that this is my favorite all in the whole game. But not my favorite character. It's been quite a journey, but we're almost done talking about all these characters and costumes, and we've only got one more left to go. This is a character I absolutely was not expecting to love so much, but after playing as them in this game, I couldn't help but place them as my favorite inclusion. This is always my least favorite part of ranking videos, trying not to guess what the first place is, so I'm surprised when I see it. I mean, I don't know if you have guessed it at this point or not, but really, I'm just stalling to make it all the more uncomfortable. Anyways, it's not that big of a deal regardless. So number 1 is Charging Check. Okay, I feel like nobody's gonna hear me out on this, but I'll try as hard as I can anyways. This isn't a nostalgia or preconceived bias type of choice or anything. I just really like this dude's design! Debuting in Mario World, these football players took on a wide variety of roles in this one game, making them one of the most notorious enemy types in it, and they pretty much disappeared from the series entirely until Super Mario 3D World, where they began to show up in all sorts of games after that, making them feel like yet another 3D World enemy. They've even been playable a few times too, first in Mario Golf Super Rush, which is hilarious considering the football gear they've got on, and even in Mario Kart Tour, so it just makes sense they'd show up here too. There's just something about this design that makes me so compelled to pick it in the character select screen. It's pretty simple, yet so effective. Oh, here's a good argument. This is one of the only enemy characters to actually have a pretty definable personality, and one I find charming. They're clearly sports jocks who love showboating and probably love themselves more. I mean, just look at how much they flex. The trick animations show this off more, some of them being references to the moves they pull off in Mario World and this game, which is really fun to see. I seriously love the colors used in this design too. Of course, you know I like blue already considering my top 3, but I really do love the bright blues, yellows, and reds used here. It's all very striking, which makes sense. I really enjoy how this dude sounds too, just the perfect obnoxious sports bro type of voice despite being a goddamn turtle. All of this is great of course, but what might be my favorite part of the whole character and why I love picking him so much is how he's got the best dance out of everyone in the entire game. I mean, just look at this. He looks like he's in the middle of a Broadway musical number. This is just so goddamn charming. All of this combined makes it pretty clear to me now why this is my favorite character in the game. I mean, it's not even one I was begging to come back like Nabbit. I'm really surprised that things turned out this way, and yet I couldn't be happier. Now, if you're shocked or disappointed by this ranking in any way, then don't worry. As a consolation, I want you to know that if Ninja were in this game, he would have been number 1. But alas, I'll just have to hope he's DLC in the meantime. And that concludes the character and costume ranking for Mario Kart World, and good lord can I yap about character designs way longer than I thought I could. See, a video like this could be a lot shorter, as proven by all the other character rankings that came out in the time it took me to make this one, but I really did want to thoroughly explain what I like and don't like about certain designs. They put so much work into making these look as good as they can, and I just wanted to give the art team some much needed appreciation here, not just in the costumes, but with the incredible redesigns too. too. These look way better than the models of the past for some of these characters, and are just really refreshing to see after looking at these guys for so long. Of course, the random enemies didn't really get that many redesigns here, but I still personally love their inclusions as, you know, they really spice up your pool of options when you don't feel like playing as a main character. That's pretty much it for the video, but now I want to take this time to yap a little more about everything that went into the making of this video. I mean, if you've heard me talk for 2 hours straight somehow, then surely you can stomach a little bit more. I don't know how obvious this was, but this was written the first month that the game came out, basically after I unlocked every character, and it was meant to come out a lot sooner. This is pretty much my fault. It's not like I've spent every hour this past half a year working on this. Sometimes you just see a huge video and really procrastinate on making it, you know? It actually kind of works out though, because I just semi-recently hit 10,000 subscribers, so I could easily say that this is my 10k sub special, and you know what? I think I will, for what that's worth. Plenty of other tubers have uploaded their rankings at this point. I haven't watched any of them because I don't want to know if I accidentally stole a joke from them or something, but I'm absolutely going to after this video drops. Not the stealing part, the watching part. Probably the most lucky part about this whole ordeal though, Nintendo never updated Mario Kart World to add more characters or costumes this past half a year, and I'm probably the only person who is so grateful for that. I would have had to change the whole list and all the rankings if that happened, but you know, maybe Nintendo simply knew I was making this video and graciously allowed me to take my time with it, so now that I have released it, you should be getting a Mario Kart World update pretty soon. You're welcome. Now, the one big aspect of this video I decided on the most recently was the thumbnail, and it wasn't gonna be all art drawn by me before, but after seeing a certain other tuber do the same type of put every character together on the screen type of thumbnail, which I can't even complain about because that's literally their style and I would have stolen it from them, I decided the one way to spice it up would be to simply draw them all instead. Why not? There's no way anyone else is gonna make a character ranking video with all these characters drawn on the thumbnail, and to be real, I just got a drawing tablet for Christmas, so I really wanted to practice using it for something. All these characters are basically my first time ever using a drawing tablet instead of just MS Paint. It's probably obvious, but you know. Well, I guess that's really about it. I hope you did enjoy this massive video, and even if you do agree or disagree with any of my opinions, I hope that I was able to fully articulate what it is I like so much about these designs. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time when I actually talk about the courses in this goddamn game. Finally.